What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Tactical Tortoise and another T5S2 Pod Finals. This is the finals of Pod 4 that we just saw in the semifinals. Nick Rose play Brad Weir in a super cool game of 40K. Brad Weir's enormous Eldari Brigade featuring 30 Aspect Warriors played into Nick Rose's Salamanders. A very exciting game. Go check that one out, the VOD of that game, if you want to see some insane Eldar play. But Nick Rose was able to pull it out at the end of the game there and make it to the finals to play against Fenomeno and his Blood Angels. This is going to be a really interesting game. Unfortunately, we've missed Fenomeno's games up to this point, and we haven't been able to stream any of his semifinals. But we are going to get him in the finals here. And he did win the all-important role to go first, which is going to be a big deal for the red player. We are over here on ITC Mission 1 Seize Ground, which is going to create an interesting dynamic for this game. And like I said, we're in Fenomeno's deployment phase. And I'll go over the lists real quickly while the players are setting up their game. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Beautiful Saturday morning. Some Saturday morning 40K for everyone. I hope everyone in the chat is ready to have a sick weekend and play tons of games and just have a good time. And I want to thank everybody for taking the time out of their weekend to watch some T5S2. As a little bit of housekeeping, we have a couple cool announcements for people who are interested on the T5S2 front. Obviously, we're moving over the entire series over to BCP and sort of transforming it from being a standard, or from being a league style, where points would accrue from T5S2 events. We're moving it to be a worldwide circuit a la ITC. So we're basically going to be tracking points for almost any tabletop simulator tournaments that want to submit them, and all of those points will qualify players for the Invitational at the end of each season. The first one obviously being in August. We have some new regulations coming out for the T5S2 events, including new types of pods. We have, if you are in our community Discord, which is there's a link in the description, you should definitely join that. You can join all of our events there for free, and you can also find games and find tons of people just to talk 40K with. And we have opened up new waitlists, new localized waitlists. For different regions of the world. We have one in North America and we have one in EU. And the previous waitlist, the single amalgamated waitlist, is now called the global waitlist. You can feel free to join any waitlist you want. You don't have to be from that particular region, but you do have to use a schedule according to the time zone of the region waitlist that you are in. So if you are an NA player, you can join the EU waitlist, and if you do, then you'll just be expected to play or to schedule games on European time, essentially, and vice versa. And the global waitlist, you might just have to be a little bit flexible on your scheduling, basically exactly as people have been doing before so far. We've had a lot of requests for localized waitlists, and we're finally doing it, and yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. We also have some new rules regarding round timing, sportsmanship, and rules infraction enforcement. All of that will be up online later today, so you'll be able to read through the new T5S2 pod regulations. And we have some new types of pods, which I mentioned. We will be maintaining the standard pods, just like they are currently, but we're also opening a new type of pod called a rapid fire pod, which is supposed to be effectively recreate sort of a 3-round RTT experience and be a little bit more competitive. They will be eligible for T5S2 points, just like the 4-round pods, but they take place over 1 week. I think we're going to have round 1 be played from any time from the start of the week through Friday, and then round 2 on Saturday and round 3 on Sunday to give everyone at least 24 hours to play their game. And the difference is that there's no waitlist for those pods. The pods will just open up, as they do, and players can join as they will. But there is going to be a small entry fee for those pods, which will also make them prize supported. So the top players will get gift cards redeemable for 40K product. So that'll be sick. I'm very excited to get working with that, and we should see the registration for those rapid fire pods start this weekend. So if you do just want to get down and in and playing, you can basically just skip the waitlist and jump on in on those rapid fire pods immediately as soon as one opens. If you are a Tactical Tortoise patron, obviously you get a preference on the waitlist for standard pods, but if you're on the 990 backer level and above, you'll get a credit for a free entry to a rapid fire pod for every full month of that you are a patron, once every month. And you can just contact me to redeem those, and you can be added to the pod. Is how it will work. That's how it's planning to work, unless I come and run into a technical issue with the tournament software. But otherwise, that is how we're going to be doing it from now on, and it's going to be sick. I'm so excited to be running more events and have tons of people get on the standings for T5S2. So stay tuned for more info and developments as we sort of become more technologically advanced. Back to this game, though. This game's going to be sick. Fenomeno going first is obviously a big deal because he is playing Blood Angels. Blood Angels have that enormous amount of turn one pressure. They can Forlorn Fury their Death Company to send them right up the table into their opponent's deployment zone. It looks like Nick has gone ahead and marked out the various threat ranges that he could potentially see. I think we could see, these Death Company move up to this area, probably move on the second move here, and then reasonably threat back to the edge of the deployment line with that Forlorn Fury. And then, if they do make it into contact, you see a double fight. They just do an immense amount of damage. You see an Unleash Rage. Just crazy, just an insane amount of damage coming out of Fenomeno turn one. Now that does come with the downside that they do lack a little bit of resilience. But Fenomeno has foregone some of the standard tropes of Blood Angels lists, where they sort of front load very heavily on the jump pack infantry, and especially the elites infantry, Sanguinary Guard, Death Company, all those guys. A lot of times you'll see 4 or 5 units of those units mixed together, and but he has decided to leave some of that at home and instead take a little bit of artillery. So let's go over his list real quick here. He is playing, first up, obviously links to the list are in the description as well, so if you want to go read them yourself, you can just check them out. His first battalion includes Astorath, as well as a captain with Artisan of War, effectively the master-crafted equivalent, as well as the Angel's Wing. So he's going to come in with 4 damage Thunderhammer, and ignoring Overwatch with his special jump pack, as well as 3 scout squads to fill out troops with combat knives and bolt pistols. Not too surprising there. But then we also have an enormous Death Company brick in that detachment. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 Death Company? That sounds right. Inside this unit, and it looks like 1, 2, 3 of them have Thunderhammers. The rest of them are just bolt pistol chainsword. It is interesting. The Thunderhammers, a lot of times you see a Death Company just 100% Thunderhammers, but it does get very expensive very quickly. The upside is that you can lose a bunch of models, and you don't really lose your Thunderhammer attacks. But sometimes, as the unit gets depleted, it kind of loses efficacy, because these are only 1 wound Marines. They're not like Sanguinary Guard that are tough to kill. You can sort of lose your central models, and it makes your positioning a lot more difficult in the combat phase. A lot of people would just prefer to basically be able to remove anybody that they want. And it looks like these Power Lance guys are going to be representing the Thunderhammers. Very cool. I think it's it's like a 6th edition weapon option or something like that, and I actually like it. I think it looks cool. Obviously not supported in the game anymore, but the TTS model still exists, and it is cool to pick out the Thunderhammers. So yeah, it looks like we got 3 of those guys in there. So, but that said, that also means that there's a bunch of chaff infantry, or maybe 4. I think I might have misspoken. That means there's a bunch of chaff chainsword guys that can just get knocked out as those Thunderhammers get in there. So, pretty not very surprising. Usually, a lot of Blood Angels lists will bring in the Death Company, and a lot of times you'll see Death Company brought in just as a they're a fire and forget missile for the most part. They just go in and do a bunch of damage, and then they all explode. It's the Sanguinary Guard that you really want to be resilient and deal the sort of be the backbone of the army. But speaking of which, we do have a Sanguinary Ancient with a standard of sacrifice, as well as in the first attachment here a Relic Contemptor. With Contemptor Mortis? No, just a standard Contemptor with two las cannons. Two twin las cannons. Two twin las cannons. So it is a Contemptor. Contemptor Mortis equivalent, I think. And so that adds some long-range anti-tank firepower. One of the downsides of Blood Angels is that if their threat range is very long, and it can be effectively infinite if they have a good setup for on Wings of Fire. But one of the downsides is that they won't be, they can't really reach out and touch models that are protected by screens that well. And just having the ability to pick away at those units with these, very powerful unit here, 4 las cannons is nothing to sniff at. And we should note also that we do have 2 whirlwinds as well, which I'll talk about in a sec. That's actually also in this detachment, 2 whirlwinds with Vengeance Launchers. So the Vengeance Launcher, if I could bring up the data sheet here. Oh, having a little bit of a hiccup. All right, sounds good. Let me just pull up the data sheet for the Vengeance Launcher. There's a Strength 7 sort of autocannon equivalent, and there's a Strength 5, and I can't remember which one's which. I believe the Strength 7, or the Vengeance Launcher is the Strength 7, but I don't want to misspeak here. But we have 2 of them anyway to add some indirect fire, as well as a 2nd battalion, bringing in the Sanguinor for the +1 attack aura. Cheap, he is not cheap, he is expensive. Chief Librarian Mephiston, as well as 3 additional scout squads, and 2 8-model Sanguinary Ancient units that bring, looks like a combination of Carmine swords, as well as, looks like a couple axes and a couple, not bolt guns, a couple power fists as well. Looks like 2 power fists, 1, 2, 3 axes, and the rest are swords. So 3 swords, 3 axes, 2 power fists. Makes sense. And he has 2 identical units kitted out that way. One of which it looks like is gonna be Thunderstrike launching here, or using their Deep Strike deployment. Yeah, so the Vengeance Launcher is a Strength 7, -1 AP, 2 flat damage. Castellan Launcher is a Strength 6, but we don't bring that. Usually you want those for the 2 damage, the big 2 damage hits. And they are range 72, so they'll hit anything on the table effectively. So I do like this include from Fenomeno to just add a little bit of long-range firepower to his Blood Angels list. Obviously, your opponent has to deploy very far back, and this is something that we talked about in our the game that we streamed on Thursday between Jeff Poole and Apostle of Ruin. One of the cool things about Apostle of Ruin's list is that he has this enormous turn 1 alpha strike that you have to prepare for and you have to respect, otherwise it will absolutely trash you, as we saw in that game. The absolute power of the Raven Guard alpha strike is just phenomenal if you just deploy on the line and hope it doesn't hurt you that much. It turns out it will hurt you, but if you deploy far back, that protects you from the alpha strike, but it opens up the range for these big guns to hit you, and that's probably what we're going to see here. Darkwind, aka Nick Rose, definitely has the firepower advantage in the matchup. Obviously, playing Salamanders and bringing a ton of artillery himself, but he has to deploy so conservatively that I think he might have a tough time actually engaging or counter batterying the artillery from Fenomeno here, because if he deploys on the line, just like in that Raven Guard match, the Death Company, they're gonna Forlorn Fury, they're gonna run in and they're just gonna kill They're going to kill everything. They're just going to kill so much stuff. And if Nick ends up without, if his Centurions get knocked out too easily, if his characters get knocked out too easily, he has no way to deal with these Sanguinary Guard, which are just going to run rampant through his line. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think both players are actually a little trepidatious. Fenomeno, not sure if he can fight through, as I was talking to them before the game started, not sure if he can fight through the resilience of this Salamanders list. And on the other hand, Nick, not 100% sure that he can survive the Alpha Strike, especially on a scenario like Seize Ground, where the bonus point is scored by holding 4 objectives. And Fenomeno, it will be surprising if Fenomeno doesn't score that at least 4 rounds this game. Looks like chat room. What's up, everybody? Thanks everybody for joining the chat room. I really appreciate you guys popping in Saturday morning for some Saturday morning 40K. Ad Valdor got up early to watch this. Looking forward to it. Yeah, man, it's going to be a sick game. I'm so excited. I'm glad you could join us. Dylan Holmes, Necron. We're talking about Necrons in the new chat. Van X and Necron. What's up, man? Thanks for joining. I think everybody's excited about the Necrons for sure, and the new edition that's coming around the corner. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting, and I'm excited for the new face of competitive 40K and how the new mission pack looks. It's like we get a whole new ITC season in just in a couple months. The 2020 season we started, just recently, just in February, we got the new drop just 3 months ago, and now we're basically getting a whole new packet. It's like it's a whirlwind of of new rules. It's going to be awesome. The meta is going to be interesting and dynamic, and I'm so excited to just theory craft some new list, and to really fight in this new meta. Every time there's a new there's a big rules change or a new big release, everything gets shaken up. Factions get more or less powerful. Big new boogeymen come in that you have to tech for, and it's like the most exciting part of the game, for sure. Even when the new Space Marines came out, I was excited. Even as dominating as they were, I was excited to try to counter-tech them and fight against them. Because if you can unlock the puzzle, it feels real good, man. It feels real good. So I think, 9th edition is going to be sick. But right now, we're still playing an 8th, and we're playing this finals game for Pod 4 of the T5S2 circuit. And Fenomeno, it looks like he's doing his Forlorn Fury movement, just getting those Death Company right off the table. I think Nick has deployed conservatively enough to blunt the Alpha Strike, and he's sort of given up his Incursors and his Intercessors, and he's just been like, hey, come at me, bro. You got me, dude. You'll pick up some random infantry, and it's okay. Speaking of Nick's deployment here, we'll talk about his list real quick. We did see this in the semifinals game against Brad Weir, also known as Mad Cuz Brad, and it is the same list, so we'll give it a go over. He was going second again. I think he would much rather go first because he does have the opportunity to drop that Grav Dev squad. If that's able to come in and just wipe a Sanguinary Guard unit or a Death Company unit, that's so much firepower off the table for Fenomeno, and Nick can actually at that point potentially start taking the game, or taking the table, excuse me, instead of having to hide back into his deployment zone for a while. But Nick is playing double battalions of Salamanders, as well as he's actually broken his Salamanders chapter here, and he's brought in an Ultramarines successor as a spearhead detachment. So his first battalion is coming in with 2 scout squads with combat knives, as well as an Incursor squad. One of the interesting pieces of tech you can use Incursor squads for, if you're going first, is use them to self-sacrifice for your Grav Dev squad. So if your Grav Dev squad drops in turn 1, it can drop in just behind the Incursors. The Incursors can throw their smoke bombs, and you can fire shield them, and then use the self-sacrifice. And your opponent has to kill an entire Incursor squad before they kill the Grav Devastators. Usually, when Grav Cannon Devastators come down from off the table, you can throw some attacks away into them and they'll die. But that is impossible with the Incursors. A lot of times you can kill them, but it takes almost your whole shooting phase to kill those 2 units. And if you don't, and the Grav Dev squad gets to shoot again, it could be devastating. That's sometimes a game-ending combo there. So very interesting. I love the inclusion of incursors, and it's cool to see that unit see more play, because I think both of the Phobos infantry subtypes I think are really cool. That detachment has a Smash Captain, Jump Pack, Storm Shield, Thunderhammer, who is actually coming in with... Nick has he's gone deep with his pre-game selections here. His captain has the Forge Master trait for +2 toughness, as well as the Salamander's Mantle for -1 to be wounded. So that gets him to toughness 6 with a -1 to wound. Puts most of these Blood Angels wounding him on 5s. With if assuming that they charged because of their Blood Angels chapter trait, which is not where they want to be. They want to be winning you on 2s, and suddenly they're not, and they're like, uh-oh. And if they don't have access to that +1 to wound benefit, then they are wounding him on 6s, and he is going to survive the entire game. Very cool little combo on that guy. We also have a Primaris Chaplain, who is bringing in, has been upgraded to Master of Sanctity. He has the special relic to improve his invulnerable save to a 3+, and it looks like he's bringing in Canticle of Hate and Catechism of Fire as his litanies. In that detachment, we have a Centurion Assault Squad. Very good unit. Makes great use of the Crucible of Battle stratagem for +1 to wound, because their rate of fire is so high that +1 to wound on 60 bolter shots is a big frickin' deal. And also, obviously, Salamanders do enjoy having one big linebacker unit that they can buff with all of their buffs, their additional toughness, their penalties to hit, penalties to charge with Flame Shield, and that gives them a pretty easy target for that. So that's 5 Assault Centurions with Flamers and Hurricane Bolters. We also have an Inceptor Squad. Another very cool include, not one that we see that often, but it is another unit that has a high rate of fire and a solid damage output, that you can use that Crucible of Battle and really force your opponent to consider, moving forward. This is a relatively static sort of gunline style list, but having the inclusions of this drop pod as well as the Inceptors gives it a little bit of freedom to move out around the table. And the Inceptors just being relatively fast themselves also helps a ton. And it looks like Nick has opted to deep strike them. I wonder if he's going to hold them until the Sanguinary Guard unit comes in, so he can counter drop them, or he can potentially drop on the sides here to try to engage the Whirlwinds or the Contemptor. But I think all of these scout squads in the center will probably make that hard. Last but not least, we have a Grav Cannon Devastator squad in that detachment. 4 Grav Cannons and Armorium Cherub to fire at one of those Grav Cannons again, and they're going to be jumping in a drop pod. Nothing super new and exciting, I think, from here. That's pretty much what you'd expect from a Space Marine list. This drop pod looks funky. Does it have extra tall tails on it? That's weird. It does look like he's recolored it green, though, to match the army, which I appreciate. Necro is also making use of some really gorgeous TTS models on his. We noted it in his last game, but oh boy, do these Intercessors and Incursors look sick. So to carry those guys around, we have, obviously, the drop pod with a Stormbolter. A 2nd Battalion, he's bringing in a Librarian to get access to those Promethean Discipline spells, as well as a Lieutenant with a Jump Pack Chainsword, and he has upgraded that guy to have the Teeth of Terra. That's going to be very good at killing Sanguinary Guard. It comes in with a high AP value, as well as 2 flat damage and a lot of base attacks. So he's going to be hopefully cutting down some of these 2-wound infantry with those guys. We're also bringing in 2 5-man Intercessor squads with Stalker Bolt Rifles, as well as a Tactical Squad. Not something that you see that often. The Tactical Squad looks like is hiding down here somewhere. Oh, here he is. Here they are, just ready to run onto Objective 4. Basically a cheap troop choice. If you have 10 points, or 5 points, to upgrade them from a standard scout squad, you lose the concealed positions for deployment, but you do get access to that 3+ armor save, which is pretty good. The Tactical Squad, yeah, just 5 dudes. Pretty cheap troops choice. I don't hate it. Last but not least, we have, like I said before, an Ultramarine Successor spearhead, which is hiding in the corner here. And this is where Nick's going to get his artillery from. So he's going to bring in a stalker. Not an option we see every day, but it is only 95 points for a toughness 8 vehicle with 2 autocannons on it. They don't hit that well because they do get -1 to hit against units that don't fly. Fortunately, against Blood Angels, that'll be pretty good. So got him. But we also have the mainstay is 2 Thunderfire cannons, obviously, to bring in that anti-infantry firepower. And we saw those guys do a ton of work in Nick's semifinals game. Just killing off Eldar units left and right with that really good stat line to kill sort of lightly armored infantry. Going to be a little harder in this case because we do see a lot of 2+ saves across the table from them. But they can just knock scout squads off, remove screens, and just force Fenomeno to have to move his valuable units onto objectives, which is where Nick Rose wants to put them. That Spearhead is led by a librarian, and this is a very interesting piece of tech here that I have not... I've used once before and couldn't really fit into a list, but I think Nick has unlocked it. Because he's an Ultramarine successor, he gets access to Scryer's Gaze, the 7 Warp Charge Psychic Power to just generate a CP. So instead of bringing in normal CP regeneration, trying to squeeze in like a 5+ regeneration ability off a relic or something, he's just going to bring in that one little librarian and try to roll 7 every turn. Usually you should get about 50% of the time, so you should get 3 CP off that guy. But he's also got Psychic Shackles, basically to Thunderfire, to Tremor Shell somebody if he really needs to, although this librarian is just a foot guy, so he might have trouble actually getting up to enemies. But once this army gets stuck in with the Blood Angels, we could see that go off. It also just does a mortal wound, so that's always nice. Just kill a guy pretty easily. But this successor is bringing in an interesting combination of successor traits. Knowledge is power, which is reroll 1s to cast and deny, which will help out this librarian quite a bit, especially if he's trying to get that 7 warp charge ability off. Having a reroll 1s to cast on that is a pretty big deal. And they're also bringing Master Artisans, so that's not that exciting. If you're bringing a successor chapter, you're going to bring in Master Artisans. But the Knowledge is Power is a really good one, and not one that we see very often. So I'm pretty impressed with this little detachment in here. One of these Tech Marine Gunners has also been upgraded. Here he is to get the Seal of Oath, which is a once per game relic that the Ultramarines get access to. That gives everyone within 6 inches, all Ultramarines within 6 inches, full rerolls against a single unit. It's basically the Astra Militarum Old Grudges Warlord trait, where you pick something at the start of the game and everyone can shoot it good for 1 turn. And he has picked that, so that does tune up the damage output on the Stalker and the Thunderfires pretty hardcore. They're actually going to be able, if you're just bringing one big thing that Nick absolutely has to put down, he's gonna knock it out probably pretty quickly. For 1 CP, getting full rerolls on a bunch of Thunderfire cannon shots is a super good value. Overall, I think Nick's list is very interesting. It's been interesting to see him over the course of his games and over the course of the series slowly lost my word here. Slowly optimize his build, and I think interesting includes like this Ultramarine Successor detachment are really show off how deep Nick is going in making this list work. I think it's super cool. But it looks like we are getting into Fenomeno's turn here. We saw the pre-game movement from Forlorn Fury. We saw the standard movement from just their movement phase, and it looks like he might have a pretty easy charge on these intercessors. He'll knock those guys out and consolidate into the artillery, which will not be good for Nick. Those guys aren't hard to kill, the Death Company. They do have a 5+ DPR, but they are just coming in with 1 wound. But without all of this artillery shooting for a turn, that could put Nick significantly on the back foot. I mentioned it earlier as well, but Fenomeno really has, I think, a bit of a leg up in the scenario as well, because he's going to be able to score these 4 objectives every turn very easily. Even if Nick pulls objective 5 away from him during his turn, he's still going to be able to to score that bonus point. And one thing that we should keep in mind is that Blood Angels do have access to a 6-inch heroic intervention. So anything that I imagine that goes into this objective zone, some of these units are going to be able to intervene into them and try to kill them. That said, the combination, we had a hammer and anvil deployment that Nick rolled for, which I think you basically always take if you're playing against a heavy deep strike centric list like this, because it is one of the easiest deployment zones to screen your opponent out of, and it gives you the most distance between your gun line and where their deployment is. That is, it was lucky for Nick to grab that deployment, and an interesting sort of paradigm of the scenario is that it's a little difficult, especially in this deployment, to cross the map, even for both players, even for Fenomeno, to get all the way across and really lock down the central objectives. And Nick having bottom of turn means that after his central brick here starts being able to move up the table a little bit more, he's going to be able to block hold more on Fenomeno basically every turn, because he's going to grab these 3 objectives. Fenomeno's going to have these 3 with his backline units, and they're going to be at a standstill there, which is a little problematic for an army like Blood Angels that relies on those primary objective points to win their games in the late game. A lot of times the Blood Angels they'll sort of run out of CP very quickly to buff their threat ranges, and they'll run out of their forward units. Obviously, these Death Company come in, do a bunch of damage, and then they all die. Same with the Sanguinary Guard. They'll slowly die to all of the power weapons in the Salamanders army. And you really, with an aggro list like this, you really need to pull a huge objective lead early. And theoretically, without getting a bunch of hold more points, that could be very difficult for Fenomeno. So it depends almost entirely on how much damage he does right here. Between this round and next round, and that will definitely determine the game, because I don't know if he's going to have the 3 5-point turns I think that he needs to really push it out into a solid lead for Blood Angels. A person, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. New to the channel, just joined yesterday. I play Tyranids for the most part. I also play Grey Knights sometimes, and I play a little bit of Space Marines. But I'm almost 100% on Tyranids right now. They're super good in the 2020 season, and actually, if you go back on the channel, you can see a bunch of my games in T5S2 pods. And I've started streaming my games from Quarantine Hammers, running an RTT right now, and just starting up a GT. Both of which, actually, fun announcement, both of which are eligible for T5S2 points. So if you play in Quarantine Hammers events, you will also be getting points as if you were playing in a standard T5S2 pod. But yeah, welcome to the channel. Thanks for jumping in. And yeah, I play Tyranids too, dude. So awesome. Everybody in the chat, thanks again for joining me Saturday morning. What do you guys think of this matchup? And how do you think this first round is going to go for Blood Angels? These Death Company could do a ton of damage, especially if they are in range to declare all of these artillery. We could see a fight twice, and it would just wipe all these guys off the table, which would be a big swing if they're able to get close enough. So how much damage do you guys think the Blood Angel is going to do here? Is this going to be a crippling amount of damage for Nick Rose? Is he going to get knocked, basically knocked on his back foot here and have a tough time getting back in the game? Or do you think that he's set up correctly and he's going to be able to blunt this Alpha Strike? Let me know what you think.
Bravo, yeah, so it's just shot before. So it's 5 hits and moving throughs again. 3 wins, AP minus 2 because of Devastated.
Yep, so 2 ups, so 4 ups. Oh, you go through, so first one, feel no pain. Dies, second one.
So it looks like this is the Castellan launchers.
Dies.
The fuck?
Yeah,
everyone.
you shot
then-
the whirlwind, and you have your last whirlwind.
Okay, everybody. We had a little bit of a glitch there. My internet cut out for a second and dropped the stream and dropped the players out of the game momentarily. But we are back up and running thanks to the autosave, and we are back to the game. So I do apologize for the interruption, but it wouldn't be a Tactical Tortoise stream without an actual without a big technical glitch. But we're back. We are back. Thresh T5S is too early for this. Dylan Holmes, he needs 3 5-point turns. I think I agree. That said, if he can push, one of the benefits of playing an aggressive list is that you can push your opponent back, sort of towards the back edge of the table, hard enough that when you come back, towards the end of the game, that they're going to have to spend so much time moving back forward. Nick does have his deep strikers that are going to be able to help shore that up, but Inceptors aren't that hard to kill, and the same thing with the Grav Devs. They're just going to blow up pretty quickly, I think. The T5S2 technical wraith strikes again. Yeah, we have a ghost in the machine over here who doesn't want 40K to be streamed for sure. Thrasher 2005. If Nick doesn't score 40 points, he's a bum. A little bit of trash talk in there, guys. I love it. That's great. Yeah. It is hard going second against Blood Angels to score a bunch of points because you do have to play so conservatively. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let me just double check enough to promote the players again. We do have to give them a little promotion. I need to be a spectator, and Darkwind needs to be a promotion. All right. Apologize. I have to reset everything after we reload the game, so I sometimes forget. At Valdor, did they forget to pick sectors? No, they did pick them, and I think it got reset. Whoopsies. I'll let them know. I know Fenomeno. We haven't talked about the secondaries yet, but they did have them picked. Orifim, this is... is this best of 3? No, this is it's a best of 1 format. Unless you mean bottom of 3, in which case, no, it's top of 1. Let me just touch base with the players here.
They're going to have 60 Hurricane Bolter shots. Mass should kill anywhere from 4 to 7, depending on how well they spike.
Hey guys, whenever you have a chance, it looks like the secondaries got reset and are just blank right now. If you could just re-input what you picked.
Oh, that is a good call, sir.
I know one interesting pick for Nick was Old School. I think it's pretty clear that he's going to grab 1 Old School point from killing one of these units that plays very aggressively. He'll probably be able to wipe the Death Company off the table in the first go. But after that, it's going to be a little tough. The Smash Captain's probably not going to be that hard to kill, which I believe is the Warlord on the Blood Angel side, because he is going to be very aggressive and going to be right up in Nick's face. But getting behind enemy lines might be a little tough, because he does have to cross the entirety of the table in order to get that. Yeah, so it looks like we do have the secondaries reselected there, and we are getting a Born Protective trigger here, so I'm going to send it back to the players.
Stalkers first. So, the gray one will be the crack grenade for the auxiliary grenade launcher. So, Master Rudderson on this. Alright, 2 hits. Good start. Looking for 4s and 3s. This is a Stalker Bolter, so all that. Alright, so 1 wound at AP2. Goes through, D3 damage. 1. Okay.
Makes his feel pain.
Yep. The Stalker going into everything.
Thanks, Overwatch. Thanks for being so useful.
Dice have disappeared. Okay. That's awesome. Reroll one of these. One hit. When you want to 3-up. Master Artisan. Come on, guys. All right, AP2, 2 damage. Kills one.
So I believe Nick actually is placed very well, and he had his intercessors chained out to the
I
Centurions.
really wish I
So
actually
any charge
paid
against
attention
them
to
would
Master
trigger a
Mike.
Born Protectors,
That's 1, 2,
and it looks
3,
like that's what he's
4,
doing
5.
now.
60 shots. Looking for
Huge
sixes here.
shot from the
Rerolling
Centurions
one.
here. And rerolling one
Master
for the
Artisan, one of
captain.
these.
All right.
9. So I'm winning you on 3s because of Catechism of Fire. Lieutenant and Master Artisan.
Ew.
Oh my god, these dice were so
Unfortunately.
horrible. I'm not gonna. This was not worth it. All right, 6 spoons. Only 2. Only 1. Wow, that was horrible. I only killed 2.
2 Death Company is still a big deal because, you know, there is sort of an exponential damage output from that unit because they will fight 2 times. But the other benefit of Born Protectors is that this unit does get to intervene, heroically intervene 2 d6 inches. So Fenomeno has to make sure that his charge doesn't get too aggressive, because if he does exactly what he's doing right here and charges over the top, it might only be a 7 or an 8 to get a Centurion into melee. And since they weren't declared as the original charge target, that could be devastating for this unit of Death Company. They just get punched all to death, and their Consolidate gets screwed up. But it looks like Fenomeno is making the right play here. He's moving very conservatively with his Death Company, and he's not moving too close to those Centurions to make that heroic intervention too easy. Let's see. George in the chat room. So hopefully 9th edition won't have units rolling 50 plus dice with rerolls, just to simplify the numbers. Yeah, also, it doesn't help that Overwatch, it's just Overwatch in general, right? Because Overwatch takes a ton of time, but it doesn't do that much damage, because you are just sort of fishing for those 6s. I think this unit, when it shoots, getting a bunch of rerolls and stuff is fine, because it's just one big thing that it does. But if you charge it 3 times and it triggers the Born Protectors and you have a defensive focus going or something like that, you could have a whole bunch of rolls trying to fish for 6s, and it's a huge waste of time. It just extends the game. Although I've been very vocal with my dislike of Overwatch for ages, so I don't think that's gonna really shock anyone. We'll go over the players' secondary objectives real quick. Looks like while they're going through their charge move here, Fenomeno has picked Recon behind enemy lines. Very not that surprising from a Blood Angels list like this. Yeah, he's going to be crossing the table. He's going to be throwing units into his opponent's deployment zone, and he just has a bunch of scouts to run up and grab that Recon that he doesn't really care about. They can just run into the center of the table, and it's fine. So pretty standard loadout of secondaries from Fenomeno here. His last one's Gangbusters, so you can score that off of the Inceptors and the Centurions, and I think he's certainly going to be able to kill the Inceptors when they drop in with something, I would imagine. And I think he assumes that the Centurions are going to be they're central to Nick Rose's plan to fight back into his list. And so I don't think I think he's expecting to be able to fight those guys head on. Innes Wilson rooting for Nick Rose. So it's weird. All right, I guess to each their own. Speaking of Nick Rose, aka Darkwing, over on the blue side, he's taken Butcher's Bill. A little bit of an interesting pick because it does inform your target priority a lot more than I think you want to against Blood Angels. I think a lot of people might pick Mark for Death in this situation and just hit maybe the Smash Captain and the Sanguinary Guard units and the basically all the melee deep strikers. I think that's a pretty good call because you know your opponent's going to have to throw those at you to win the game, and you will have the opportunity to kill them. Plus, if you don't kill them, you probably lose anyway. So at that point, what's the downside? The issue is that if you do leave them alive, and especially units like Sanguinary Guard are relatively difficult to kill. They almost have the same defensive stat line as a Terminator, and are usually can hop between cover to get to a 1-up armor save. If you leave 1 or 2 of those guys alive, they're going to be able to just pull away and hide to deny you those secondary points. But I think that's something that that's a risk you might have to take. But he has taken Butcher's Bill, so he can score that off of anything he wants. If he wants to kill characters and scouts or something like that, he's going to be able to score that. Throughout the game, it'll be interesting to see how well he can score that one out. He's taken ground control, which is a bit of a bold choice here. That forces him to move across the table because he is going to have to grab 4 objectives by the end of the game. That said, that is a good secondary to pick on C's ground because there are 6 objectives, most of which are in striking distance of your deployment zone. And he's going to have the ability to go grab those objectives by the end of the game. But it does force some forward momentum out of Nick because the core of his army is not fast at all. It's speed 6 or speed 4 for the Centurions, and it's going to slowly plod up the table in order to get to those objectives. He's really hoping that his characters are going to be able to grab that one. His lieutenant and his captain both have jump packs, so they can run out late game and start grabbing those back objectives. But also going second, that denies your opponent the ability to respond to your ground control placement, so that you're ensured to grab those objectives if you're able to clear them. But that said, against an army like Blood Angels, where you have to deploy so defensively, and they're so lethal in melee if you get close to them, I do think this might have been a bit of an awkward pick for Nick. But we'll see how he does. I think he's usually pretty confident in his secondary play, his picks for secondaries. He's also picked Old School, like I said before, which I think he's going to be able to get a couple points on. But again, crossing the entire table against this Blood Angels army is going to be tough. So we'll see how it goes. George in the chat room, glad to hear. Falling back in 9th will have some consequences. Yeah, me too. It seems it's a very silly mechanic. Coming from the last edition I played in was 5th, which had nothing like falling back at all. And so once you got into melee, you were just there until you fought your way out. And going into 8th was a little bit of a culture shock. CJ Stam, can we get a side view? Something like this? A little model's eye view going on? It's hard to see which Blood Angels units are where. So if we're up top, we can see he has got the Death Company have Forlorn Furied up into Nick's deployment zone and are engaging the artillery. He has 1 Sanguinary Guard unit in the center, as well as most of his characters here. I think Sanguinor's over here. There's Mephiston. And then he has a Scout Squad, a Scout Squad, a Scout Squad, a Scout Squad, and 1 Scout Squad, as well as his 2 Whirlwinds and the Contemptor. He has 1 unit of Sanguinary Guard. You can sort of see them over here. Off the table, they are waiting in the wings to drop in from a Thunderhawk. And that's where they are. So they are spread out all across the table. Very good placement from Fenomeno. And it does look like the Stalker has survived. So I think we are over to Nick's turn now. We scored it up. Kill hole bonus for Fenomeno. He should have a recon point. Looks like he might be repairing that. He should have recon and behind enemy lines, I believe. Okay. And he might be able to double score recon. He should be able to double score recon because he can score these 2 units in this quarter, these 2 characters in this quarter, and then he has 2 in each of the other quarters.
I mean, you can't help it, right? Like that's
so he has a behind enemy lines on the Death Company. I'm just going to make sure that they score out their recon.
Real quick. These guys know. Wow.
Did we score out recon for the Blood Angels here?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my
Yeah.
scout scored over here. To...
Yeah, it looks like you should. I think you double score this turn, right? You'll get
Yeah,
2
because
on
I can
recon.
I don't think
declare
you
a
can double score.
character.
I don't think you can double score till turn 2 on recon, but I could be wrong. Turn 1.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll double check.
I mean, just remember it
Yeah,
is
starting
turn 1.
turn to double scores from turn 2. You're right.
Okay.
I mean,
But I'll get 1 for turn 1.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's a single score for
I know it's a
recon.
good turn already, but like, come
That
on.
was my mistake. But big old 5-point turn already. Probably will be able to grab a hold more this turn for Fenomeno. But he did pick up a kill on the intercessor squad, but unfortunately, he opted not to double fight with his Death Company, and I don't know how I feel about that. He didn't pick up the Stalker kill, and he didn't engage the Thunderfires, and I think that could see this Death Company squad picked up. So I think when you go in with the Death Company squad, you have to be aggressive, and I think you have to try to declare these Thunderfires and just try to kill them. I'm not sure what if he did declare them, but he has 2 Thunderhammers in range of these 2 Thunderfires, so I'm not sure about the not double fighting. If he's able to pick up that artillery, Nick is significantly on the back foot. But they have a Seal of Oath available to them, and they're going to be able to just like these artillery by themselves are going to be able to blast all of these Death Company off the table, or most of them for the most part. Because those Tech Marines are so lethal as well. They each have a flamethrower, they each have a plasma pistol, and then they can each fire the Thunderfires, and then you have a couple other guns to finish them off. Let's see. Sanguinarius, it's an 11-man Death Company squad is too small. You need more. You need to have too many Thunderhammers. I think that might be true. I think he's only got 4 Thunderhammers. And if you lose out on too many Thunderhammers, you lose the ability to punch through armor like this. The chainswords are with the +1 to wound can do it slowly, but not that great.
You just did punch me in the nose, like. Really,
Not killing the Stalker is a shame, yeah. That's actually really surprising to me. It is toughness 8, so it is a little bit hard to kill for these guys, but they have +1 to wound and they have a bunch of attacks. I wonder if we saw a failure on their Unleash Rage. Nope, we got their +1 on Unleash Rage, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they weren't able to kill that thing. I would have absolutely liked to see a double fight from Fenomeno here, and to try to knock out these Thunderfires. I'll be interested to talk with the players and see why he didn't go for that. I think we are going to see those Thunderfires be very impactful as the right game goes on, because they are going to be able to start targeting these back scout units and stop Fenomeno from really easily being able to screen out Nick Gross's deep strikers, as well as hold his back objectives. The last thing he wants to do is have to move a whirlwind to hold objective 3 if he loses these scout squads here. We'll see how it goes, though. He might just want to spend his CP later in order to keep his Sanguinary Guard going. And keep their smashiness a little bit intact, I think, and the Death Company may just be there to control the board and create some distance for his guns. So here comes. Looks like Necros has shuffled the battle pile, the Space Marine battle pile forward slowly. He doesn't have anything to get on Objective 5, so he's just going to cede that to Fenomeno for this turn and tell him, yeah, it's okay. You get your hold more. Don't worry. Although if he's able to knock out Fenomeno's units on 2 objectives, I don't think he can. I don't think he has the beef to kill this Contemptor Dreadnought. So he could potentially knock out the models on 3, but Fenomeno would still have 1, 2, 3 objectives to only 2.
Make a difference beyond just the silhouette of the model, or is there?
I mean, technically, it would a little bit, right? But you can just basically, it opens up the pedal, like the pods would be down, so it'd take up a lot more space.
Yeah.
But you could still place it anywhere you want, right? So it creates a movement where you can get off a lot more space. But I don't think that.
So Nick has opted to drop his
I don't know how
Grav
you do
Cannon
TTS,
Devastators.
like, it just becomes really
Some very
awkward.
cool models of these Grav Cannon Devastators. These look like some. These are some like 30k Volkite Blaster looking guys. I
So
really
you just
dig
think
them. That's
are
really
the-
cool.
So you're saying the doors are up or are down?
They're down, so you can see through it.
Okay.
It's not gonna block line of sight.
It looks like the model he might be using doesn't have the option to open its doors,
Right.
but he is declaring that the doors are open. That's interesting. See if I can get him to mark it out. Nick, did you say that the doors are going to be open on the drop pod, not closed?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to you could just draw out where they are. Does your drop pod not open its doors?
No, it doesn't. And I
Okay.
haven't seen a model that does it otherwise.
The TTS models, they should. The ones in the catalog should. They do open their doors, and they have a sound effect too. So I mean, get on that, man. But
Sorry.
you could just Can you just mark out where the edge of the model is then in that case with the line tool or the drawing tool?
Sure. Well, guessing it's like 3 inches here.
George, do you have to buy the token or models, or are they built into the app? Yeah, so this is all of the stuff we are using. Yeah, that's that's perfect. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a better way. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no worries. It's clearer for me to be able to talk to you where the actual doors are.
If you knew a drop pod model in the TTS catalog.
Yeah, I will send one to you. I think as soon as I can.
Sorry, I had no idea. I didn't because in the TTS one, that's where maybe I need to update the catalog, but that's the one where I got it from.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Yeah. I'll pull one up and see if I can get you one that opens up.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So George. All of the 40k mods for Tabletop Simulator are fan made, and they're totally free. There is a Tabletop Simulator Discord server. We have our community server for Tactical Tortoise and the T5S2 series, but there is a TTS 40k community server, and that has it has a catalog of all of the files that you need to play. Basically, I mean, Tabletop Simulator, you can buy it on Steam. It's between $10 and $20 depending on sales and stuff. As soon as you do it, you just download the 40k mods and you can open them directly into the game. It's really easy. And there's a couple hoops to jump through to create your army and to spawn all your models. But as soon as you do it, you're basically just playing 40k. Tabletop Simulator does what it says on the tin. It literally just simulates a tabletop that you can play 40k on. And you can move your models around and measure. It's pretty easy.
So let's do Fire Shield on the cursor.
Yeah. So if you're on that server, then should be a download links section where there is a download for all of the files that have all of the models that people have compiled. You can also find models independently in the Steam Workshop, so you can usually search for armies or factions in the game, and you can download those independently. I think that's where a lot of Nick's models are from, because he has some updated Primaris models. The ones in the catalog are a little chirpy looking.
And is that against all attacks?
George, yeah, I agree. Battle reports on TTS usually are pretty easy to follow because you're never locked into the camera, right? Like the camera can move around wherever it needs to. It doesn't. Nobody's holding it, you know. So I do like them, and it is good for competitive play. Obviously, I can watch everything the players are doing. I can see all the measurements. We can really actively judge a lot more easily than you can on the tabletop. I mean, so far it's been great. I'm all in on TTS. I'm definitely I'm missing Meat Space 40k right now. I'd like to go to an RTT or a GT and get some games in, but I'm definitely not going to stop playing TTS anytime soon. And obviously, now that we're running our own circuit system, we're going to keep pushing competitive TTS for as long as we can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hanging on 3s. Rerolling the 1s. Master Butterson here. And wounding you on 3s because of catches and fire. +1. You are the closest visible, sir.
And it does look like so Nick has deployed his Grav Cannon Devastators to draw a bead into the Sanguinary Guard. Could be problematic for them. I imagine we see Fenomeno saving his points to transhuman against those guys, and then just trying to mop up the Grav squad with these scouts in the building. But if some good rolls from the Grav cannons could see a big chunk of the Sanguinary Guard knocked out, and that could be really, really depressing for a Fenomeno.
It's 6 up. 6 up Philippine for Death Company.
Oh, 6 up. Okay, I thought it was 5 up. Cool. So 11 dead. Should be the whole squad then.
That is the whole squad.
Yeah, get that shit out of here.
Oof, so it looks like
Alright,
the with Catechism Fire, the
let's do the
Centurions
easy
just have
stuff.
guns the
We're gonna spend
entire
1 point
Death
for
Company
Grav.
and right off the table.
1 point for
You definitely need to need to pull wraps with
here.
those guys, and you need to try to get as much damage out of them as
So orange
possible
will
before they go
be
down.
Guys hitting on 2s.
The way it was, they killed a unit of
Signal.
intercessors, and that was it. That's all they did,
The
which
gray
is a
will
little
be the guys
frustrating. I
hitting on
think
3s.
definitely would have liked to see
And
those guys
Relentless-
knock out some
sorry,
of those
I
Thunderfires.
don't know these stratagems, basically. What does it do? The Relentless Determination?
Makes them count as not moving, so they don't get the
Okay,
heavy
sure.
penalty.
Sure, you mentioned it earlier. And these are... I'm probably going to transhuman this, I guess, because you're...
Yeah. Then I would you on 4s. I still reroll wounds. Otherwise, I'm winning you on 3s.
Yeah, the Gravs are pretty good.
So do you want to transhuman or no?
So you're hanging on 3s?
I think you have to
transhuman.
transhuman here. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a question. I think it's realistic that the Grav Cannons will only get one shot
Winning on
out
3s with full rerolls or winning on 4s.
this game, and you have to mitigate it as much as possible. Darkwind's already spending 2 CP to make this happen.
Yeah.
Spending 2 CP to mitigate the damage is a no-brainer, in my opinion. Drop that 2 CP, bud. You got 9. You have plenty.
No, it's probably not worth the... You're always rerolling ones anyway.
Yeah, I'm always rerolling wounds anyways.
All
Okay,
right.
yeah, go for it.
He's just gonna
I'll not transhuman.
let it go. We'll
Okay.
see how it goes.
So if you're
With the
not going
Grav
to
strap.
transhuman, then I'm going to spend the 1 CP because I have to. When I Salamander unit from your army is chosen to shoot with, I'm choosing to shoot with him. That's after I pick my target. I already picked the target for the transhuman for the Singular Guard. I'm going to spend plus
So
1
the-
CP.
I think the trigger for Crucible Battle will pass before the transhuman does, because you choose them to shoot and then you choose their target. So when you choose them to shoot, you would choose Crucible of Battle then, and then when you pick the Sanguinary Guard as their target, Fenomeno would declare whether or not he's transhumaning.
So is it? I thought you choose the. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you choose the devs and then choose the.
Yeah, that would have been my understanding of it.
Yeah. Okay. Then never mind. Yeah, you're correct. All right. So then rerolling this.
That is a weird interaction, but it is a good one to know
Rerolling
for
ones.
those stratagems. Usually the +1 to win stratagems work that way. It's things like Veterans of the Long
so
War.
when you're on 3s,
They trigger when
rerolls.
the unit goes to shoot, but before you choose the targets. And then a lot of defensive stratagems choose
Right,
when
so 11 wounds,
trigger when you're
84.
chosen to as the target.
6s.
So you would have to have declared your +1 to wound before they choose
Alright.
whether or not they are.
Do you have Feel No Pain or anything?
Yeah, there's a standard of sacrifice in the middle of this.
Oh,
That's 5 up
jeez.
pain, right?
Were those the saves?
Okay. So let's do the first one because you all have 2 wounds, right? 3.
Oh no, 0 saves coming out of Fenomeno here. Oh dear.
One guy died.
I think you need this transhuman there, bud. Their armor, their
I'm gonna
2 up
put
armor
these
saves
3
not going to
dice
protect
this
them.
side here.
Ooh,
one.
this could be gross.
And the next one. That way we can keep track of.
Yeah, sure.
That's a 2. Yeah, I'll keep the 2.
Okay, he's on 1 wound.
Right. The next one, we'll re-roll that for 2. Goes up.
2 guys are dead.
All right. Next one for 2.
And do you always reroll the damage?
Yeah, I always re-roll the damage. That's from the Grav Amp stratagem.
Sanguinarius
Which you
Blood
reroll
Angels
when
should
you
be
reroll
at 0 CP by the end of turn 1. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think
Guys on
you
the-
even bother with the +1 feel no pain on the Death Company. They're eating 60 shots from the Centurions. They're going to eat 2 Flamers. They're going to eat 2 Plasma Guns. They're going to eat a bunch of Sniper Rifles.
guys then.
Nothing's going to save them. But before they die, you have to get as
next
much
one.
work out of them as possible.
We'll reroll that.
And the fact that they didn't fight twice is really bugging me right now.
Takes a win.
Next one.
And Valdor says hi to Sanguinius for us. You'll be seeing him soon. Brutal.
4 guys then.
Oh my god.
Right.
This turn has
one,
fallen apart
2.
for Fenomeno.
5 guys then.
Next one here for 3. Oh,
Oh, I rolled too many dice.
okay.
CJ Stan, this might be over. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, we do have to remember
Yep.
there's an entire other unit of Sanguinary Guard on the table.
one,
Plus, all of these
little
Sanguinary, all of these Blood Angels characters are gonna hit super duper freaking hard. Darkwind's already blown a lot of his CP.
Takes a win.
Fenomeno has saved his, so
And 2.
you know, these guys can just drop 5 CP when they come in this turn, which is happening immediately. And
7 dead.
they get their
7
3d6
dead,
charge
1 alive.
and, you know,
Alright.
start hitting really hard.
Let me just work out which zone.
I wonder if we even see Fenomeno wait for a turn. But the threat of Born Protectors on these Centurions shooting into anything that charges the incursors in front of them is going to be tough, I think. We'll see how it goes.
Alright, 1 alive, right?
Sanguinarius, the CP for +1 Feel No Pain on the Overwatch? Maybe? But, I mean, the Overwatch only shot 1 dude, right? So
I'm going to shoot.
they only killed. I think it only killed 2
sniper
models,
rifles on that
like
guy.
2 chainsword guys that
One
weren't going to make it to melee
alive.
anyway. So I don't think that it ended up mattering at that point.
Pain on 4s. Rerolling 1s for the captain, Master Artisan. So 5 hits. Wound on 4s. Master Artisan, one of these. Only 2 wounds, AP 1.
Save the boss.
Hey, he doesn't care. He's not happy, but he doesn't care. The drop pod's gonna shoot that Sanguinary Guard too. Maybe we can get lucky. 2 shots, 2 hits, 2 wounds. AP 0. He does not care. Okay, so I killed 1 unit here. I had 7 sniper rifles. Can't really shoot anything, I think. You moved out of range for everything else there.
Sanguinarius, I thought he
don't have
lost
enough
3 or
apothecary,
more.
yeah.
No, he lost 1 to the
no
Centurions and 1 to
apothecary.
the Intercessors shooting. That was it.
So
He
I'm
just lost
assuming
2.
these scouts are in cover.
Thrasher. It looks
Yeah, we
like
should
we have
just go on the look of
3.
that
Nope,
Centurion.
2 Sanguinary. Nope, just 1. Just kidding. 1
If you
Sanguinary
do,
Guard,
give me a
and then
3
that's
alpha,
the
final
Ancient,
two
and that's the
scouts.
Sanguinar.
So these
So
scouts.
we lost 7 to that grav cannon shot. Oh,
I have my
gross.
drop pod down.
Ooh, this is not good.
I'm gonna fire 1 Thunderfire here.
Into the scouts.
Yeah, it's your middle scout.
Okay.
I think Nick trying here, seeing if he can
Remember a shot.
randomly knock this scout unit out with one of his indirect fires. He can try to kill this unit with the
Lean on
rest
2s.
with the rest of his shooting,
Master Artisan.
and try to pull
Winning on 3s.
hold more from
Master Artisan.
Fenomeno. It is a very low odds
looks
chance,
like,
but if you're going to shoot at
8
scouts
wounds
anyway, you
from
might
one.
as well
AP2.
start shooting into the ones on the objectives.
So 5 ups.
And
Four.
then the Sanguinary Ancient is nearby.
And this is why I think I absolutely would have liked to have seen a charge
Um,
declared onto the Thunderfires.
I'm gonna
Sanguinarius,
seal up all the
I
other
think to sort of answer your
So,
comment here,
We're gonna fire
I
the other
think I don't
Thunderfire
think
at the
he
Sanguinary
actually
Guard.
declared the Thunderfires.
Number of shots.
I'm not sure if that was a range issue or whether he
This many.
just,
Re-rolling all hits and wounds against this guy.
or whether he just didn't want to eat the Overwatch.
Eight
But I
hits,
definitely
aim
think
for
you
three.
spend that CP to give them the
going
5 up feel no pain. If you're going to be shot by the
two.
Stalker, the Intercessors, the Centurions, and the
It's
Thunderfires,
like 6 wounds.
and that sees you
CP3,
through a lot of
CP4
that
up.
1 damage fire, and then you can get in and you can
Okay.
just beat these 2 Thunderfires to
Yeah,
death,
fine,
and you
okay.
stop exactly this from happening.
you
Now
die.
the scouts are going to start dying. Now
gives me
these
2
objective
full
holders in the back are going to
still.
start dying, and he doesn't have a great way to come back in to
And
fight
1
those
for
guys. He could drop his other Sanguinary Guard unit to kill these models, but at that point he's just sent his
You
entire army
killed
in to kill the
two
artillery,
units, right?
Darkwind's artillery. And that's
So
not a good
the
trade. That's you need those Sanguinary Guard, I think, to get into the
Intercessors and
Centurions
Intercessor.
and wipe them out.
Okay. I've killed 2. I think that's it. So you're
And
gonna
that is
get,
it for Darkwind's turn.
can't do much else.
Looks like they're going to kill the same.
So I'm gonna get a hold. I'm gonna get a kill. You're gonna get a hold more. Can't stop you from that.
Yep, and they
None of us are gonna get kill more.
So there you go. We got an old school for turn 1 kill, and we got a butcher's bill. Yep, for killing 2 units.
Maybe I didn't pull an intercessor out. Well,
It looks like that last
Pretty sure
Sanguinary
it's
Guard
cool.
fled. Or maybe it got killed by snipers, actually. If it ran away, that would be funny.
yeah, I think that's all shooting I got. I don't think I can shoot
Do
this.
they have a... It seems to
Oh,
me
these
like
other
they
guys
should
can
have
shoot
an
no,
anti-morale ability, but...
And morale-wise, they get to use Astra's leadership, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they just have the
So,
chaplain.
Yeah,
or-
they should.
3 casualties. They're
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, your 2 kills were way more important than mine, so...
That is true. I'm not gonna argue that one. It did bring down some of the teeth that you've had.
So Blood Angel's turn.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, going
okay.
into round 2 here.
Tactical.
I wonder if you...
Oh, AdMech player. Yeah, Litany of plus
I
1.
wonder if you even
goes off,
drop in
and then we're gonna do heroic.
the Sanguinary Guard.
Wise Orator goes off.
Oh,
Plus 1 to win, is that an
wow.
aura or a unit you select?
Unit, and it's gonna be the Centurions. Like
So
all the time.
we're using the Salamanders chapter
So we'll
litany
go for that
now,
50 charge
which
aura.
gives everyone within 6 inches of
Fire
3-inch heroic
and
intervention from the
exploding
chaplain. So anything that comes in to fight the incursors will also have to deal with the Centurions coming back at them. It's not a litany that you think of very often, and then as soon as you see it in action, it's sort of like playing
So plus
against
it's a charge
Space Wolves, like supercharged, right? Because Space Wolves always have that 6-inch heroic intervention, sort of available, and the 6-inch intervention on their characters. But it's not. It's Salamanders, almost their entire army gets that 3-inch heroic intervention, and you can start chaining them in weird ways. If he comes in with units to fight the incursors declare a heroic intervention and open up, lanes so that the Centurions can come through to heroically intervene. You can use it in very interesting ways because your entire army does it. Sanguinarius, not a fan of the Contemptor Dread choice for the Blood Angels or the Whirlwinds. Astrath makes the Death Company morale immune. Yeah. But I was wondering about the Sanguinary Guard, but the Sanguinary Guard, I think they all just died. I don't think that they needed to take morale. If the Sanguinar is a Warlord, Heroic Bearing makes everyone within 6 inches. No, I think his Warlord is the Smash Captain. He has the Master Artisan or the Artisan of War. Warlord trait for +1 damage to try to get that guy into the Centurions. I think he just gets beat to death if he goes into the Centurions right now, though. I don't hate the include of the Whirlwinds, especially the Contemptor Dreadnought. The Contemptor Dreadnought feels pretty solid. I think one thing that you can fall apart a little bit with Blood Angels is if you don't have the opportunity for this like sort of massive turn 1 alpha strike or turn 2 sort of beta strike that Blood Angels can do. If your opponent screens you out well and plays conservatively, having these
think you're gonna
big
have that
super long range guns I think is usually pretty helpful.
Definitely not.
It forces your it punishes your opponent for playing very conservatively. Unfortunately, in this matchup, it doesn't. The whirlwinds at least are not very useful. We did see them pick up an intercessor unit in turn 1, which was good to secure Fenomeno the kill before the Death Company
Where are
charged.
your librarian? Sorry.
But
They're in the
at the
back
base
behind
-1 AP, their
Right
missiles
here.
bounce off Salamander stuff really easily. And especially
left, so
since the
24.1
Salamanders have
Here's
these
librarian.
guys
Yeah, that makes sense.
all buffed up. We also have Veil of Time on them. Oh, that's Fire
Yeah,
Shield.
those scouts
Okay.
can just chill on this objective.
It's like you can't Veil of Time those guys. You don't have
Middle
anybody with
objective,
that
get the armor
ability.
scouts, do some-
I think Salamanders is a hard matchup for Blood Angels. Yeah, I think that potentially could be true. They're very good defensively as a
And these
defensive brick.
sectors,
Um,
there's nothing that lets them drop in closer than 9, is there?
Oh god, no.
and so it's a hard nut to crack for Blood Angels to get into. Looks like Fenomeno is lining up a charge.
They're just tough.
I'm
That's
not
pretty much
sure
what
if I
it comes
love
down to.
that.
Right, they're just a good unit that gives me some mobility and.
Mm.
Right.
I think you almost want to hold out for a turn, but
You know,
I'm not
once they drop
sure
in,
what
they
the
really
play
kinda
is here
hard
for him. He's lost so much in turn 1, he might just need to have some good dice happen, make a Hail Mary to try to kill everything. He does need to take care of these Grav Cannon Devastators, though, because if they get to shoot again, the game's over, I think. And I think that's what these scouts here are going to do. We could see some interesting plays if the scouts move out and charge into the Grav Cannons. We could see like a Born Protectors from the scouts to shoot them and then intervene to block off their consolidations.
All right, Blue Scout Squad.
Sorry, the Cursor.
Thrasher 2005. Nick has to go perfect
Oh,
now
I
with
didn't-
with 5-point turns to
What
get
is
40
bonus
points,
one?
or he's a
The
bum.
minus 1 to hit. They're gonna be minus.
Sanguinarius. That makes him planning for failing, though. His Blood Angels have no benefit to vehicles. Yeah, but you don't need a benefit to vehicles to have your vehicles to work. You know, just because you don't specifically buff vehicles doesn't mean you can't play them. It means that they're not quite as good as like an Iron Hands vehicle, but that doesn't really matter that much. I do wonder if the whirlwinds are a little pillow fisted. Maybe instead you take a Scorpius or something.
Do you have any way of falling back and shooting?
If you can take Scorpii
Salamanders, no.
Salamanders, you-
Ultramarines,
in
yes.
Blood Angels, I have no idea actually. Let's take a look see. You sure can. Yeah, I think I would like to see that a lot more than the 2 individual Thunderfires or the Whirlwinds. Excuse me. You lose out on the range, but they do a ton more damage.
Oh, right, we'll move this Blue Scout Squad up.
You also get the benefit of using your Devastator Doctrine for that one turn. Blood Angels usually just ignore it.
I think all the
But
Scouts-
having just a little include that takes benefit from it and gets you a kill on turn 1, I think is important.
And you get Spec Scanner.
All of the
right?
scouts are melee scouts in the Blood Angels army. Although I think the Scorpius is actually significantly more expensive than 2 other Whirlwinds stuck together. Am I wrong about that? His 2 Whirlwinds are 170. Yeah, so you'd have to free like 50 points somewhere. I do think, maybe you drop something. Maybe you downgrade this guy to something a little bit less expensive. But I like the option to have a score. Obviously, I think Scorpii
Sorry,
are
I had a
ridiculous.
start
I
of the
think
battle.
you almost always
start
take
the
them.
movement phase ability with Astorath.
Oh
Massive.
yeah,
damage,
the massive doom. Yeah.
Sanguinarius. Oh, they just get
It would have
Blood Angels
affected-
just don't get Thunderfires. Yeah, for sure.
I think just. Okay, it might kill one of the scouts.
I wonder what
It's
you
still an
remove
objective,
if you
but,
wanted to put a
take
Scorpius
that
in.
risk, so.
An interesting thing about the Scorpius too, it's only a 48-inch range, so sometimes it
Yeah,
gets
so units
outranged
from
by
the 6
Thunderfires and by other
Scouts
Whirlwinds.
and,
But an interesting thing with Blood Angels is that because they're so aggressive,
the Scouts.
they push so far forward that you can't like sort of get near the Scorpius to engage it a lot of times. So he could like deploy the Scorpius here, and he has range on the entire table, and he just like picks up the Thunderfire cannons immediately.
Next.
Thrasher 2005, Real Talk Blade Angels loses
No.
almost nothing for souping in other Space
the
Marine
last
factions.
character.
2
So everything
Thunderfires
gets
plus 1
plus
quad, Las Cannon, Mortis Dread as Iron Hands would be
Spaces,
very
it
good,
was-
or 3 Thunderfires
no
as
one's
Imperial
wrong.
Fists. Yes, I mean, that's true. You lose the +1 attack in the Assault Doctrine, but I agree with you. I think most of the time the +1 attack is superfluous. It helps in the situation like this when you lose enough going in that once you get to that turn 3, your characters and stuff benefit greatly from it. But a lot of times it's like a win more. You know, it's like, oh, I already got my Sanguinary Guard into you fighting twice, and now I just have an extra attack, so I'm going to kill you harder. I do agree that you can. Blood Angels soup pretty well, and I mean they've souped traditionally for ages, so it's not. It's
You might want to key these things over here too, guys.
it's
Sorry?
You might want to key
pretty
this guy
classic
and
for them.
these guys over here if you want to figure out where you can put stuff. Drop pod.
Yeah.
You might have to put your guard.
I do like
behind
the idea of bringing in a character dread,
character model.
a character Mortis maybe instead of the Contemptor. But you have to open up slots to take an Iron Hands character at that point. Maybe just make this guy a Chaplain Dreadnought and take 3 Thunderfires. That seems pretty good. That actually seems really good.
And I'm assuming your drop pod doors affect this as well.
Yeah, so the drop pod doors would come. There was 3 inches from here to
Yeah, Mortis
Here.
would be untargetable.
Three
Yeah,
inches
that's better than
here.
the Contemptor. But
Nine
a Chaplain
degrees
Dreadnought's also untargetable. You
here.
just lose the 2 las cannons, but you free
Get
up
a
an
line
HQ slot, so it's cheaper.
here,
Slightly cheaper, I guess, because you
here,
do have
here,
to bring a
here.
3rd heavy support.
and I guess the lines got deleted.
Sanguinarius, I've done the
Oh, sorry,
3
yes, I think one of
TFC
the-
Imperial
this-
Fist Soup.
To
Sided up her Raven Guard
override
successor, 3
any lines that
Eliminators,
we've
and a
Gotcha,
Chaplain with
yeah.
Master of
So
Ambush
those are roughly
aggressors
3
in the
inches, so,
soup.
9
That makes
inches would
sense.
be right there for
Then you
the-
have
the
sort of 2
drop pod,
really
yeah.
aggressive
Nine
between Death
inches.
Company and the Raven Guard. You have 2 really aggressive units.
We also
I wonder if you lose too much going second in that list, though. Because the aggressors are super good going first and not as good going second, and the Death Company at that point have to deep strike. Although you could just deep strike the aggressors too, I guess. Right?
Alright, I'm going to
So I
drop
guess
the
it's
guard in.
probably not
behind
that
my
big of a deal.
characters 12.1 away.
But it's
from
more
distance
CP you have to
range.
spend. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like the tomato soup problem, where you're just adding tomatoes to tomato soup. I think the real benefit of souping is that you get something that the faction doesn't normally get access to, and at that point you're just putting more aggressive deep strike units on the table, which is just kind of Blood Angel's thing. But I don't know. If you've had success with it, then more power to you.
You just give me that line from the drop pod again. 'Cause-
it's right here.
Okay, thank you.
It's basically inside that objective. And 9 here.
I'm actually interested to play. I might register
1.1
an
now,
Astartes
you
soup
come
for
to
a
the
pod, I think, because I'm interested to play Deathwatch alongside either Blood Angels or more gunliney stuff. But Deathwatch are really kind of tickling my fancy right now. I think I love playing sort of short range units. I think that's fun, and like the teleport shenanigans is fun. And then you can also bring in like the Blood Angels or Space Wolves characters. You can also bring in like the Iron Hands artillery. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, sorry, this is kind of slow. It's just.
Well,
if
I
I'm
get it.
being-
I mean,
This
one's
is like
important.
the turn of the blood.
Yeah, I mean, this one's kind of important, so.
How'd you use the?
Was that a 12 inch placement there?
Did I use what?
I'm just checking the ruler tool. There's
Oh, 12 inches from
there's gonna
the
be snaps to these things,
Centurions.
right?
But you want to be within 12 inches, right? So you can declare them. You just declare everything. It's all going to Born Protectors you anyway. And then,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
in the interest of
You just hope you don't die?
ages, I'll just leave it like this. Well, there's need to go over here for some reason.
I wonder if we see Nick like Crucible of Battle.
Yeah,
But I
mean,
think
we know
he's moved
full
his
point
captain
range,
too
so-
far away to get rerolls to
Yeah,
hit.
no, I don't think it. I mean,
So he's just going to be rolling for
less than a
sixes.
10-inch
So
charge
maybe he
to
just
your
doesn't even bother
incursors, for example.
trying to force
Yeah,
through the
and the
Overwatch
sensor
shots.
basically 2 inches behind the front of the
Oh,
incursor
and the
base, right? So
Smash Captain
that-
ignores Overwatch, so he
give you
can
an idea.
potentially, if he gets a good charge, he can drop in
that
here
way
and engage everyone.
Sense can heroic intervene if need be.
Thrasher, yeah, he's placing for
It was
Aspect
definitely
Scan,
a-
but you
can
can't
move
fight
these
him.
incursor
You
models.
know, like
There was
if you're outside
definitely
12.
a captain size gap.
And Darkwind's down only down to 4 CP. Maybe just let him
That's
Aspect
because
Scan.
that's
I
not
think I
the
would.
intention of them, right? So
Okay, yep, yeah, no, that's absolutely fine.
You're -1 to
Yeah, I
hit.
think
You're on
one
a
of
2+
them fell
save.
down
I guess
from
they're
the
in tactical
terrain
now, so
or-
you're in a 3+ save.
Yeah, no problem.
And you have the DPR. I don't know if they do too much damage.
Yeah, damage for Thunderhammer. It knows exactly where it wants to be.
Oh yeah.
Alright, Psychic Phase.
CJ Stam. So the interesting
24.1,
something we should
he's
note.
out.
Nick's having a little bit of trouble with his drop pod model. The model he
Yeah,
has,
it's okay. Oh, yeah,
I did
I
mention
mean,
it earlier. It looks
it's not
kind of
much on
funny.
ones,
It's got these weird
obviously.
wings on it.
Oh, no,
The model he has doesn't open
being drained.
for some reason. So he has his
probably worth
the
rerolling this just to
doors
get
out to
mine.
here. So he is actually within 9 inches. So he could use the
Yeah,
drop pod
getting
to
late to the party.
become
I'll CP this
unshootable
one.
if he wants to.
All right.
That's what these blue marks here were for.
there
I
we
think
go.
the ones that were
Takes
over
this
here got
guy.
deleted, but that's where the
You're
doors,
gonna
the
be down
edges
to
of the doors
ACP.
actually are.
Yeah, it's
Nick elected to do that, I think,
I
to just
know
block real
what
estate
to
on
himself
objective
as
4
well.
and make it harder to charge his models, but I
Oh,
don't know if it's
okay,
going to really do
that's
that much damage,
hubris on
do
my
that much
part.
work.
Pharaoh takes 2. He's got feel no pain. Okay,
It.
takes 2 wins. But I do have
Yeah.
to move him for the win.
Mephiston.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Mephiston looks like perils the wings of Sanguinius, but he
Too
did get
bad
it off.
Mephiston didn't taste the warp and blow up and kill your scout. That would have been great. I would have loved that.
Alright, Shing Phase. Let's see what we're working with here. Your protective stratagem, is there a specific time you have to use this? Is it when I declare your sense as a target, or?
It's at the start of the Sheen phase. So.
Okay.
So let me say when you're done with psychics, I'll go and go into.
Sorry,
Sheen
yeah,
phase.
I'm done with psychics.
Okay, cool. I am going to go do it. So into cursors to self-sacrifice for the sense.
Okay.
Okay, so full last cannons there.
So we do see this incursor technology used. It looks like these guys have dropped their smoke bombs and have been fire shielded, so they're -2 to hit. And Nick has used a what do you call it? Self-sacrifice to make the Centurions unshootable, as long as the incursors are closer. So none of the I think, can the indirect fire still
All right,
shoot?
we'll go into the.
I think
tactical
self-sacrifice
score, I
requires
guess,
you to be
with
closest
the
visible.
Last cannons, but feels pretty bad. But
Okay.
I want to charge the drop pod.
Let me double check that though. Some of these are worded differently.
Wait,
some
then
of
the
these
incursors are
abilities.
what? -1 to hit.
They're -2 to hit and +1 toughness.
Yeah, into the tactical squads.
Not gonna bother wasting the shot.
Sorry, I'm going to ask you these. How your buffs and stratagems stack basically every turn.
That's fully fine.
Tis to hit.
Yeah, so
tis
you
to wound.
if you have indirect fire, you can still shoot at the
Wow.
Centurions. But that said,
AP3.
I don't even
now,
know if he
is
wants
running
to.
tactical.
he might just
Last cannon.
try to knock this
Oh, yeah.
the
Those
grab
6
devs
saves.
out or
I
something.
get saves. I get saves. Oh, it don't matter. All right.
Yeah, he's just shooting other
I'm gonna
stuff.
take this guy out.
Um,
And
but Thrasher, to your point earlier, I think that's
take
like why
Thrasher
you
out.
triggered the aspect scan, right? If you give
the tactical range charging.
like you're gonna give the Centurions a free round of shooting, but
Then
you assume that they're gonna use that self-sacrifice, and if they aspect scan, they're down to 0, and they don't have transhuman available, they don't have their born protectors
against
available,
that.
none of the defensive tech on the Salamander side turns on if you have
Nice
0 CP
benefit.
on you. And I think that's a trade you just have to make.
Okay,
you just
we're
have
gonna
to
go
hope that your 3+
that's
armor
tactical
saves see you
squads
through,
with more winnable.
and your feel no pain, and you just kind of eat it. CJ Stam, yeah. So they used the they used
edge of that
heroic or self-sacrifice
complete waste of
on
time.
the
Everyone's
incursors
gonna
to
deal with.
protect the Centurions from
Okay,
ranged
2d3
attacks.
shots into the attack.
And the incursors are currently -2 to be hit with ranged attacks right now with their smoke grenades.
3 hit.
Yep.
3 wounds, AP -1.
Yep. Well, we ignore AP -1 because we're salamanders. So 3 ups. Good.
Second one, same target. 6 shots.
Sanguinarius slash cannons versus plasma cannons with the amount of infalt saves vehicles out there with a repulsor with a plasma cannon
5
over
hits,
last cannon
4
dread
wounds.
better anti-tank.
Right. Freeze again.
Good.
Easy. Okay, I've got a lot of annoying.
I would still rather see
Small
last
changes
cannons.
that you missed.
I think the average damage is still going to be higher. Because the
Just
plasma
the
cannons, I mean, you can
focus of
flub
your
the number of shots with
mistakes,
plasma
like
cannons, and then
cannons
everyone
and-
that goes through is only 2 damage, whereas last cannons you have control over
maybe
the
not.
amount of damage.
Just gonna use your dice. 'cause
A
we're over
repulsor
here,
with the
so-
last
Yeah,
the
it's fine.
orange is the
a
correct.
plasma cannon executioner is way more expensive too, right? You're pushing 300 points with that thing, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I played my executioners. I bought 3 when they came out, though. They are cool models to play. So they're probably one of my favorite models in the game. I think the Repulsor Executioner. Just playing cool tanks, man. I felt like I was a kid again. You know, going rooming around the table with these guys.
Crack grenades from Astoras. It's the only one in range. Yeah, crack grenade at your. Okay, I'm just gonna use your dice. It's okay, just 'cause I'm over here.
-2.
Yeah, all your points together. I think the a
Boom.
Las Destroyer
3 up.
Executioner is
Save.
330, and it looks like if you kit it out, the plasma cannon is 320.
Will not overcharge.
Yeah,
his
so it's
plasma
almost
pistol.
twice as much as you're pushing twice as much as the Contemptor Dreadnought.
Hit.
Hits.
Oh, instead of all 3 vehicles, yeah, I don't love it.
Oh no.
Oh, maybe it's okay actually. If
Some
you
number
know
of
you're playing this
Angeles
mission
Wolf
setup,
Hunters.
maybe you do that. Actually, I don't hate that.
Yeah, it should be the whole
Because
squad,
you can
so
deploy the
16
Executioner here
and
every game. Because the big issue, right, is if you go second, it's like a big deal because your opponent just super turbo targets the Executioner and kills it. But if you can hide it here and you're not playing sort of
Yeah,
Imperial
these are
Fists, he
cheap.
just hops over the wall
3's base, so 5.
and he shoots
right?
the Las Destroyer 2
Second
times
person.
and kills whatever you want.
And then
It's,
you're rooting out.
Non-zero chance it picks up this entire Centurion squad. So maybe that's the play. I don't hate that at all, for sure.
Okay.
Although these walls are pretty thick, I actually wonder if it can actually
save.
fit all the way across the wall
Take 3 ups.
without having to move more than half.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Take 1 wound. Feel no pain.
I think I like a Scorpius better though,
Blood Angel
because it's
shooting
cheaper,
grenades.
it's indirect, you don't have to see people. But I
Yeah,
think, I
that's-
mean, Repulsor Executioners is the
That's
classier
shooting.
option 100% of the time.
Right, charges.
Since the Iron Hands nerf, nobody complains about seeing Repulsor Executioners on the table. They're just cool and they do a bunch of damage. And you're like, yeah, look at this big tank.
Less relevant one first, I guess. Or will we? Okay, the captain. He's the. Probably have to do him first, right? Captain will declare that sense and the incursor.
Yeah, the weird part, Sanguinarius, the weird part is that the model's like 4 inches
And
wide.
I mean, there's no reason not to.
So
declare
if you
those.
have a
Yeah,
wall
you
that's
need
longer,
or-
that's greater
or
than an
option.
inch, and I think on this map, the
Meters
walls
lower,
are
so
on the pillars are more
use
than
your
an inch
Astoras,
thick.
that was the
Then you would have to
one.
move like 5.1
Well, that's
inches to
illegal, so
move
we get plus 10
totally
discharge.
to completely clear
Like,
the
we
wall,
will-
like
This is-
to jump all the way
You're
over.
gonna get +2. -1 should be +2.
And so you would not be able to double
yeah.
fire your laser destroyer. So that's a reason to play Panzer's map
Alright,
because the walls
monster
are
giant.
a half inch thick. some weird meta map tech. I'm not 100% sure though. I can't measure in spectator mode. I know in some positions I think it's slightly greater. These walls might be smaller, so you might be able to hide these walls. I think these walls are less than an inch all the way across. But it's tough to measure from the top because the walls are actually thicker at the top,
We'll just do this.
just based on the model.
I technically am
It
allowed
is
to touch
funky.
the hill, right? Otherwise, my charge would be reduced by 2. So.
Yeah.
Dylan Holmes, this edition makes vehicles bad. I mean,
that's why I was okay.
it's clearly not true, but okay. If you're a ground vehicle and you want to be up in your opponent's face and they can engage you, sure, yeah, I agree.
Both
That's
of
bad.
these, or only one of them?
But I mean,
I
Lehman
think
Russ
base
have been
both.
good for ages.
I mean, yeah, maybe you're like just like that as your base.
The indirect fire vehicles have been good. Anything with fly is super good. And even like this, a lot of vehicles are just cheap, right? Like we have a Stalker over here. Never see these guys, but it's a toughness 8 model for 100 points.
No,
and we have 2 Whirlwinds on the other side, so we're still seeing standard vehicles on the table.
Isn't quick.
I wouldn't go so far to say that vehicles are bad.
+1, he will charge.
You did want to touch the cursor here, right? So yeah, so you stop all the Overwatch.
So Fenomeno,
so
making the
I'm
right play
inch
here.
looking cursor,
The Smash Captain has the Angel Swing, so he's untargetable. But Overwatch looks like he got his big charge to engage both of these units, and nobody's going to be able to shoot him. They are still going to be able to heroically intervene, and but he does stop all of the damage coming in from the Sanguinary Guard. Unfortunately, the Sanguinary Guard will not be able to attack the Centurions because they did deploy outside 12.
Yeah, it's the same as the Captain, I guess. +1 to the charge.
No, the Sanguinary Guard get full rerolls when they shoot because of Heirs of Ascalon.
Did you? Oh, you rolled a 12. Okay.
That's a good question. And I think it's just
story
in
of the
melee
pod
with their
from me so far,
rerolls. No, they reroll hits.
I
They reroll
can't.
hits.
There's not much I can do when you roll 2 12-inch charges.
Sanguinarius, the thick walls are 2 inches.
I mean, that's like what, a 15-20% chance of that happening. Let alone
no, they're
twice?
much smaller than 2 inches. You can fight through
Yeah,
these
I don't
walls.
think this can go that far back.
These walls are, I think, at their thinnest. These walls are maybe 0.8. And the pillars, I think, push it more to more than an inch. These walls are none of the walls on the BCB map are larger than 1 inch. Are larger than an inch, I think.
Right, the Sanguinary.
You can deploy backwards from them to stop bases from getting through. But if you're up touching the wall, you can't stop them from charging you. Like if I was trying to stop chargers, I would deploy my units in this building here. So I was a ½ inch off this wall, so they couldn't charge. They couldn't get their base through, and they weren't within an inch of the side that they could stand on. So they would have to go around. If that makes sense. But these walls are. I think these walls are almost don't have a thickness. They're like 0.1 inch thick. If you look at the side, the profile view here, they are very skinny walls.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 2 or 3. Yeah.
At Valdor, there's good vehicles and monsters for basically every faction. Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part.
Jump pack unit, roll 3d6
every faction has at least one playable vehicle.
What was the one that got FAQ'd? Was it the redeploy that turned into 3 CP? Then?
I think it maybe used to be 1 and now it's 2.
Oh, okay.
Redeploy. I wasn't playing Blood Angels beforehand, but yeah, one of my other opponents mentioned something similar.
So this is an awkward engage for Fenomeno here. I think he's just hoping that the captain can knock the Centurions out, but they're going to see a transhuman, and they're going to pull out off of. They're going to pin all these characters, right, with their intervention.
Yeah, the incursion's drop pod, so you'll get some.
And then we're going to see a.
Yeah.
We have an Obsidian Aquila, which almost cuts damage on these guys in half because they only have to make one. Feel no pain in order to ignore an entire attack effectively.
We do 1 wound. EP 1.
And we're going to see a transhuman on them, I imagine, to keep them alive. And I don't think these Centurions. I don't think Fenomeno kills as many of these Centurions as he expects. I think he needed to get the Sanguinary Guard in there.
Getting good at these charge rolls.
Yeah, -1, right? Doesn't seem like that matters. Is it 3d6 pick the 2 highest, or is it 3d6?
Oh, just 3d6. So they're all
wherever they want.
Yeah, Sanguinars, yeah. Upon Wings of Fire is 2 CP now, yeah. Yeah, the player's a little bit confused about some of the Blood Angel stuff that changed. Just to comment on the discussion that they were having earlier. But yeah, on Wings of Fire became 2, which is the stratagem to pick a unit up and re-deep strike it immediately. Noah, what are the playable vehicles for
Did
You
he
got
still
me.
charge? What?
Oh, let's check. What do I need? I need a 5, and I get +1 net. So
On.
You got me, bud. I think it's
Just the
still
Sanguinar,
Lehman
not
Russ,
the
right? It's still tank
party.
commanders
Okay,
because you could
guys,
soup
we're
in
gonna
Astra Militarum with
charge
a Gene Stealer Cult
drop
detachment. So it's Ridge Runners, it's Ridge Runners, and it's tank commanders. Those are the
maybe
playable
your
vehicles
scouts
for
as
Tyranids.
well. Yeah, the drop pod and your scouts.
And like
Oh,
Right.
Manticores.
You're on one. Master.
It's all Astra Militarum stuff, and plus Ridge Runners.
Nothing. The scouts. Anti-grenade. Sniper rifles. Master riders here. Nothing. Go.
okay, and the charge roll. 8
7.
total.
You just got the door here.
Yeah, I really just want to bad touch
It does.
the grab dead.
Okay, so this turn I think is swung around for Fenomeno a little bit.
All right, where do you want to go first?
And we'll see if Nick can navigate the fight phase well enough to fight out of it. I think he can. But this is where having 9 CP
Yeah,
and Fenomeno's
captain
end is a
into
big
this
frickin' deal. Or
Centurion
down to
squad.
6 now that he's spent everything to buff his
Yep.
charges.
Let me give him +D3 attacks from whatever that stratagem's called.
Yep, I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to buff
spend
up
for transhuman in the
Mephiston.
sense. Oh,
And
pull it out
Transhuman
right
goes
now.
down in the sense, yep. So that's why I think the triggering the Auspex game is
Alright,
okay,
let's
because they're going to
do
shoot you,
that.
but you're going to get into them and just really screw
This
them up
one,
in melee.
'Cause you're going to have, what, 6
Because
attacks right now?
they would not then have
4
their
base,
Transhuman
shock
available.
assault, death company, 6, 7. He's not within range of the. Yeah, 7 attacks.
Yeah, 'cause even I can't. Yeah, and you're gonna be wounding on 2s otherwise. Yeah, I have to transhuman. Can't spend the points for the option.
All right, so we're hitting on.
I think we see
3s,
2 cents die here to the Smash Captain.
Rerolls his own 1.
Wound on
That
4.
was not a great hit
Winning on
roll, though.
4s.
Oops.
Rerolling 1s.
A good thing, Transhuman.
Well, you only
Transhuman
have
saved
2s,
3
so you got
wounds
nothing to
there.
reroll.
Maybe we only see 1 cent die
Alright,
here. They have a
let's go
5 plus armor
through.
save against the Thunder Hammer,
Um,
and a 6
only 2
plus
up, you're
DPR for
AP3,
the
so
Obsidian
5
Aquila.
up.
Fails both the
Okay.
armor saves.
And then feel no pain here on the first one.
Oh, first one dies.
Second one.
Okay. Well, we saw 2
Okay.
die.
How
I
it's
think
supposed to work.
Nick
Supposed
may
to
have
save
misplayed
one.
slightly here. We didn't see an
Um,
intervention on the Incursors because he could have pinned Mephiston in place, so he couldn't fight the Centurions. If he intervenes
Mephiston
this
doesn't have an
Incursor
end boss, right?
here,
No,
he
2 up
pulls
and
these
just a 2 regular
2
and
Centurions, and
Five up
Mephiston
to-
has to fight into the Incursors unless they get wiped by the Sanguinary Guard. And even then, I think he might have trouble. I guess he could come to here without engaging the lieutenant, but he doesn't want to fight the lieutenant. As it stands, I guess Mephiston is
Even
probably
CP
still
left,
blocked.
right,
He
you're
can
on
only
0
go
just
to
now,
there,
don't
but I think he might be able to
Second
get
person.
within range of that Centurion. I'm not 100% sure, though.
Yeah, I'm on 0. Yeah, until I get more from other stuff. Yeah, and I had no other heroic.
Interesting
interventions
fight
to
phase,
do.
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
Let's see if Nick Rose can fight through it
Right, activate
well
Mephiston.
enough.
This Astarath aura increases my pylons and consolidates by 3 as well. It's increasing my charges by 2. I don't know if that. if you
Yeah,
wanna change
just keep
your-
in mind that he does have to end closer to the Incursor he was standing next to, right?
Oh, the closest model, not unit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay, so we just go here.
Yeah, there you go. Okay,
closer to this-
so it looks like
resistant
he
Incursor.
is blocked from getting
Yep.
into the Centurions there.
I can maybe just not activate him. Maybe just wipe the Incursor squad, and then he'll be closer to the.
Could be a
Sens.
possibility.
Yeah, let's try that instead. So, bunch of Sanguinary Guards.
Players
into
basically
your-
going through the discussion that we're
Incursor
having right
squad.
now.
So it's 3 swords. 3 axes.
Yeah.
2 power.
Yeah, Sanguinary. So the Sanguinary Guard have to go first for sure, 100%.
So they are within the Sanguinar's aura, so they'll get +1 to their attacks. They are base 2, Shock Assault 3, Sanguinar 4 each.
What do you guys think, everyone? This is going to be a tight game, I think.
They're strength 4, strength 5.
Nick Rose is actually texting me in the background.
So the scores are 4, the axes are 5.
Saying, everything made its charge. I might die. So he's feeling a little trepidatious about this turn too. Let's see if he can survive.
E5.
Do you think this Sanguinary Guard charge is enough to bring the Blood Angels back in?
I'm assuming the psychic powers in melee as well.
No, it's not. It's only in range. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's reassuring. Yeah, that's many hits. And winning on 4s then. If I'm strength 4,
I'm
your toughness
T5.
5.
Sanguinaries, he's talking about the Canticle of Hate litany.
Rerolling 1s because of the ancient.
It's a +2 to charge, and
the swords are AP -3.
the +3 inches
Nice,
consolidate,
sixes.
as long as he's within 6 inches of Astrath.
Okay. How much damage?
D3 damage each. First one's.
Okay. Here, I'm just gonna move.
Yeah, so there's I have 4 wounds in total, I think it was, and then
Yeah.
first one.
So feeling pain. He dies. Actually.
This is a
next one.
confusing damage setup to do.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's the interaction between DPR and multi-damage weapons. You have to roll, and then roll the DPR, and then roll the next attack, and then roll the DPR. It's annoying.
And the last one.
A little time-consuming, but we'll get through it.
2 damage from the last one.
All right. Can I roll a stick? Can I roll a stick? No, I cannot roll a stick.
Nick not getting good luck on his Obsidian equivalent this game. Unfortunately, has made none of them, I
We're
think.
doing pretty much the same thing with the axes.
No, Sanguinary Guard get full rerolls. Yeah, full rerolls to hit. Yeah, he might have forgotten. But it is bizarrely only models within 6 inches. So I don't know if all of them get it. Probably these guys. But yeah, he might just be forgetting.
Okay, and these are only AP -2.
Okay, so 5 ups for.
Yeah, Sanguinaries. Yeah, it is.
Ah, there we go.
It is weird that it doesn't stack with their standard chapter trait, but on the other hand,
D3,
it's really nice to have that additional +1 when you're trying to charge out a deep strike. And so I think Fenomeno just wants to confirm these charges because he needs all of his charges to go off to win this game, I think.
Is 3.
And it looks like he made everyone but the Sanguinarian this turn, which is really good.
Make 2 Philippines here. Nope.
Even through the -1. He also was going into a
+1,
-1
3.
to charge because of the
You
fire
start rolling
flame
3.
shield on the
That'd
incursors
be
too.
really-
So he wanted to just maximize the benefit he could get.
Nope. Man, okay. I guess where's the power fit? Oh, this is all Simo. It doesn't really matter.
Then you have got 2 guys with Perfist.
Okay.
Getting a little dicey here, but the Power Fists are going, oh no!
Rolling 1s, right?
And I don't. The Power Fists are, I think, definitely out of range to get those full rerolls anyway.
3s. Or 2s, actually.
2s to wound, yeah. Rerolling 1.
And 1's for the Ancient. 5 go through. I think this
what's the
could see the
53?
curtains for the incursors unless some weird dice happen here. They do
4
make
go
1
through.
save.
D3 damage.
Survey says, ooh, only 1.
I take 1 wound.
Only 1 again. Oh, and it saves. Oh my gosh.
1.
Oh, Fenomeno. I think you might have to reroll one of these damage rolls. You have to kill the last incursor.
1.
And he rolled 4 1s in a row.
He's gonna stay alive no matter what.
Oh, and he doesn't die. That stops Mephiston from getting into the Centurions this turn. I guess unless Astrath can kill that guy.
That's it.
Oh, that's so obnoxious. Don't
So,
block your move with Astrath here. I
double-check
think
this.
Astrath has to get in here. He has to move closer to that guy, and he's going to do. Mephiston's going to do way more damage. So-
Consolidate move. Like, an additional 3 inches, so yeah, just in case you can
That's so crazy.
get a bit
Oh, yeah,
too
yeah.
fast.
The Sanguinary Guard didn't kill a Centurion unit, dude. Yeah, anything that can block off your charges, Sanguinaries, yeah, I agree. You definitely want to grab that. Helps for, anything, especially stuff that screen back well, so that you have to get those big charges and those big consolidates to get past the screen. I think it also helps. But if you're just getting in to fight somebody, yeah, definitely like
Okay.
prioritize the damage dealing ones.
Oh, my fist on can't
Still,
get there.
he's
I
still
the one
got an incursor there, buddy.
I forgot. Again.
The little
Again,
incursor
pure
that
inexperience on
could.
my part,
Holy
but yeah,
crap.
that makes a lot of sense. Why that guy's still alive.
Can a Sanguinor reach the last
So is it worth
incursor?
killing
No,
him?
Sanguinor's
Yeah.
back here, dude. He failed his charge. Poor Sanguinor. I think it has to be Astorath. I think Astorath has to knock that guy out so Mephiston can get in. We'll see if Fenomeno works it out.
Yeah. We'll activate the single range, and then he has to end up closer to this Centurion.
Right.
From...
Yep.
Oh, this is so awkward.
Yeah, he's not going to...
And he can't fight the incursor with the ancient. Yeah, we're going to have to go with Astorath. There you go, buddy. Get him dead.
Yeah,
Kill this freaking incursor. Longship Blast, can the Sanguinary Guard fight again? They could, but they only declared the incursors as a charge target, so they could not
or
fight.
just leave him pinned so you can't shoot me. Maybe you feel morale.
No, you have to kill him and kill these Centurions, dude. You can't commit and then not kill the Centurions. They're going to kill your entire army.
Yeah,
speaking, but I just don't...
No, he's just going to go for a pin. Oh, I don't love this.
What we're doing. So...
This is some very passive play from the Blade Angels.
I wasn't expecting you to, quite honestly, roll that many charges. And get that, so I'm a little shell shocked myself, to be honest.
Okay, we'll go after activate him. Hit this incursor with
okay, we're gonna kill the incursor with Astorath.
Yeah, bunch of attacks.
Just execute that dude with the big axe. Oh my god. Kicks the crap out of him. Get out of here, you idiot.
Wound, strength 6. Plus Blood Angels. And I think it's AP -3 on his.
Doesn't 6s to wound like blow up for Astorath too? Yeah, he's super dead.
What? He's like D3 damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. We figured it out, ladies and gentlemen. We figured it out. I don't know what Mephiston declared as well, so we might see Mephiston, if he's able to knock a bunch of Centurions out, we could see the double fight used on Mephiston to come and maybe kill the Primaris Chaplain or the Lieutenant.
And then...
But he has to knock these Centurions out. Otherwise, the Centurions kill half of the Sanguinary Guard squad on Fenomeno's turn, and that could be the beginning of the end for him.
Okay. And then strength
just a win, strength 10.
We're doing the transhuman. Only 2.
You'll get reroll 1s because of the chapter banner.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the Centurions are going to survive this turn, but I don't think Fenomeno can afford to let them attack the Sanguinary Guard, is what I'm saying.
And yeah, sorry, you are transhuman. I forgot that. So 3 win.
All right, so you're AP3, right?
Transhuman doing mad work this turn. Holy crap!
Big sword. Yeah, maybe
saved them 6 wounds so far, I think, or 5 wounds.
5 up.
Jeez. And he saves 1.
D3 damage.
Oh, this is not the damage that Fenomeno needed. He keeps rolling 1s. 2 more 1s coming out of his D3s. Oh no! Oh no! Mephiston only did 1 damage. That's terrible. Oh, Blood Angels, you gotta learn to use your weapons better.
And then you'll activate the ancient. You come in and go for these Centurions as well.
The ancient knows the Singray Guard. I could. Gotcha.
Sorry?
Well,
I was wondering if the Singray Ancient could charge the sense with the guard that you were talking about. Not
all the characters were in range for both units. It was just the guard. I had to, because they were deep striking, and I didn't want to get them Auspex scan. Don't know whether.
Yeah. No, I totally. Yeah, I was just thinking about, because it was the Singray Ancient, Singray Guard. I was just.
Yeah, sure. So this guy's 4 attacks.
He's got a power fist or what?
I think he's got an axe. So
axe, yeah.
4 hits. Rerolling once to win because of himself. And your toughness what on the sense?
They're T5.
Okay, so 3s are wounding because it'll be strength 5.
Ancient hits on 3s, so the 3 misses, or the 2 misses.
Did I pick up? Sorry, I didn't even.
Yeah, you're also still wounding on 4s, right? Because of the transhuman.
Yeah, transhuman. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he had a. I think you had a 2 in there for the hit. So it would be 1 less hit. So you only have 2 hits. Or you reroll a 1. Gotcha. Never mind. So.
Yeah, I definitely rolled something, but
Yeah. So 2. So 4 ups. Fine.
okay.
Did everything.
Oh
You get the
my
swing?
gosh. Yeah, no. Poor
I still got this
Mephiston, he
over here.
deserved better,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that
So, yeah, we'll
was
just
really
put
poor
everything into
showing.
the
But that's the resilience of the
sniper
Centurions.
scouts.
Once you have that
Give me
transhuman
16
and
attacks
that
on the charge from
obsidian
loading to the
Aquila going,
scouts.
and it doesn't help that Fenomeno rolled like 6 ones to wound, or ones for damage in a row. And now I think we're gonna see these grav cannon pick up, just taken right off the table. This is an awkward fight between the scouts because they do have to engage the other scouts in order to fight the grav cannons. That's one of the reasons that Nick wanted to put these doors out on the drop pod
that's
to make this charge awkward because they
This is
would have
all
had
the
to go
scouts.
all the way around to engage the grav
Yeah, I'm
cannons
just
alone.
attacking the scouts and touching the devs.
Looks like we're actually just going to fight the scouts.
This is you have 3 attacks.
Interesting.
So 15, 16. Right?
Yeah, 16 with the sergeant.
And then winning on
Winning on
threes
threes,
with
'cause
their
blood
plus
angel.
1. Oof, puts a significant punch through on those scouts.
Whoops.
You
Oh.
rolled 3 too many.
Yeah. I didn't see the extra dice you picked up there. Let me just reroll this. It was 7 wounds, right?
Yeah, 7.
I lose 4. This one.
Oh, they must have shot one to death, it looks like. Doesn't look like we can get a wrap on these dudes. That's
Far
good
enough
placement
to
on
try point any of these guys.
Darkwind's part,
Yeah, no, so
but
I'll
he is
do
engaging the
the
drop pod, so they're not going to being able to be
right.
shot anyway.
You did not charge. You did not declare them, correct?
I did not know.
the grav cannons would
Right,
be
so I only
would have to
have
fall back.
7
Though.
attacks because 4 plus Sergeant Chainsword. So this going into you. Master Artisans here. Looks like only 3 wounds.
Sanguinaries who sergeants don't have double close combat weapons.
sorry, 2 wounds.
I'm not sure what
Right.
you mean by that. The sergeants, the base scouts should be coming out with 3
And-
attacks. So times 5 is 15
Drop
plus
pod
1 for
came
the sergeant.
melee, so
The sergeant has 4, so they have 16
drop pod
attacks.
alone. All right, so I've got the sense here.
Unless I'm missing something about Blood Angels, guys, I guess that I don't know. Blood Angel scouts specifically do they have alternate war gear options?
See, the Fiston's got 4 wounds left. I think I'm actually going to throw all the attacks into the Stingray Guard in a sense.
Okay, I'll transhuman them.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
What are these siege drills?
Yeah, can the
Yeah,
sergeant
they're
take 2
AP4,
chain swords? Is that
so
what we're talking about?
3.
I'm not sure what that
Master
interaction is. If they swing 1 attack with 1 chain sword and 1 attack with the other chain sword, they get plus 2 attacks from it.
You on 4,
I'm not 100% sure.
Lieutenant, and Master Artisan. So it looks like 9 AP4 wounds. Stingray Guard. I'll go through. So 3 damage each.
The wording on the data sheet, I think, looks like you cannot pick one weapon twice, though.
Yes, this is the first one.
Synchronized players can take
Kills
chain
one.
swords and a combat knife. Oh.
This is the second one.
Guy died.
Right,
Third one. 2 dead.
Can they? Are you sure?
guy's fine.
1.
Oh yeah, you can replace your bolt gun with
Takes
a
a
combat
weapon.
knife, and you can replace your
On the
bolt
same
pistol
gun.
with a chainsword.
Yep.
All right, well, there you go. I didn't
Like
know that.
that.
That's cool. That's fun. Yeah, I don't know if Fenomeno is aware of that. I was not aware of it
What's
either,
the
but that's
one?
really cool.
And this one.
Definitely something to keep in mind for sure.
There's only 3 left, right?
Yeah. Nice. 5.
Okay. 6 guy dies, and then the last 7 dead, 1 alive.
Yeah, so it looks like the
Alright, which one?
Centurions swinging back into the Sanguinary Guard absolutely eviscerated them. I wonder if Fenomeno... I guess you can't burn all your CP right here. You have to spend it doing damage. Are we deciding to pull models? Yeah, so that's why you needed to... The Centurions super duper needed to die. I think you needed to get the Sanguinary Guard into them and just punch them. You don't really care that if the Incursors attack you back, but the Centurions just almost killed the entire Sanguinary Guard squad. Ugh. Gross. Unfortunately, Centurion Power Fists just line up super well with Sanguinary Guard stat lines and just punch them right to death.
Yeah, we'll do like this. Okay, end of the fight phase. I'm gonna...
Swing again.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to double attack, probably with the Smash Captain.
Alright, we'll go again with the captain, so...
CJ Stam, yeah
4,
man, it's been a
5,
crazy
6.
turn so far.
I think I forgot the...
You
Massive
rolled
dividend.
1. You rolled no, you
I'll leave you guys alone for 1 second, and half the units on the table are having killed each other. Yeah, so this turn, this is a massive aggressive turn from the Blood Angels.
Yeah, we'll go with the captain.
Fortunately, Nick's defensive setup helped him a little bit.
That's for himself, sorry. And then to win this 4 is re-rolling 1. Because the transhuman.
Oh,
Just
that's
3.
not what he wants to
Right,
see.
so
The
5
transhuman's
up.
doing immense work. 2 of them
Right,
save.
Make 2. So 1 for Philippine. Or 2. Awesome.
Oh my god. The
this
Smash
guy
Captain
has
didn't
1
even
left.
kill a Centurion.
great.
Jesus.
You got morale on the Sanguinary Guard.
I think that
You lost.
Yeah.
I think that
Was there a
transhuman
10-man
saved
or
the
an 8-man?
Centurion 11 wounds that
It
turn.
was an 8-man unit, so they've lost 7. And...
You got 2 left open. So
Somehow it
No,
feels
no,
like
I don't.
every
There's
time
only 1
you
left. That's why
do a
it's
fight
like
again, like that's how with a
Okay,
Space
gotcha.
Marine
I was just
Captain.
trying to
Like,
decide,
that's what it feels like to me. Every time mine fight
which one
again.
to leave alive.
I know it's fall apart.
One guy over here, who I think is still...
Oh, that's brutal. That's
So you can use
super
actually.
brutal.
yeah, leadership 9. So your dice minus 2, basically. 1. 1.
I'll wipe the squad.
Yeah.
I can no fear, right?
Yep. There you
Alright,
go.
that's fine.
All right. Well, that's good.
All right, looks like the last Sanguinary Guard stays
Oh.
alive.
After all those charges, you've escaped.
But
Relatively.
yeah, that turn was
alive.
phenomenal for Nick, I
So
think,
I
in
just
my
got
opinion.
4 objectives. I've killed.
The Blade Angels burned through their 9 TP this turn, getting all those models into melee, and then just bounced right off the transhuman on the Centurions. To clarify, obviously Centurions have a 2+ armor save, which helps them a lot against a lot of AP -3 weapons because they still save them on 5s.
Yeah, he was tactically.
On top of that, he has the Obsidian Aquila on the Primaris Chaplain to give everybody a 6+ DPR. So effectively, if a Centurion gets punched with the 4 damage Thunderhammer, the Centurion only needs to make 1 save in order to completely negate that attack, because the next Thunderhammer hit will kill that guy. So each Centurion at that point would take 2. It's like it's an immense survivability increase. It's like 57% or something crazy like that. On top of that, the transhuman Fenomeno really wasn't able to roll through it and really bounced off. I think he needed to have this. I think he needed to keep the incursors around and just eat the attacks back from the incursors. But the Sanguinary Guard went in to fight the incursors, and then he didn't have enough attacks on the Centurions to wipe them. Doesn't help that so many survived. So many made their saves against the Smash Captains fight twice. But
You got 2 units here. 2 units
I think that might be the death knell for the game. Fenomeno does pull out
I just killed the
the kill hold bonus. He'll probably get hold more, but he only killed 2 units this turn, it looks like. So I think he's going to lose out kill more this turn. And from there, he'll probably get hold more for another turn or two, depending on how things go, because he has forced Nick back into this section of the table so hard.
Not gotten a kill yet.
But we are going to start seeing the fact that these Thunderfire cannons are still alive. Excuse me, these guys are still alive. That's going to start hurting Fenomeno super hard, because the scouts in the back that are securing him, those Holdmores, are going to start dying. We're also, I imagine, going to see the Inceptors drop in this turn for the Salamanders, and they can drop in behind this fight. Maybe somewhere over here. And try to take down Sanguinor, maybe try to take down models in the back here. The scouts are protecting them pretty easily, but the scouts in the building did leave, so we could see the Inceptors drop in here and try to engage the Contemptor, maybe. I don't know. Nick has a lot of options now that the Blade Angels formation has sort of split, and they've gone in and it didn't go well for them. I think Nick has a ton of options to counterattack very effectively. So we do see the Smash Captain going in to try to fight the Sanguinor. Obviously, no fight on death is available for the Blood Angels now that they're down to 0 CP. And I think we're going to start smiting into these characters. Looks like he's going to try to smite to knock the Captain out. Or at least knock him down to enough that a Centurion hit will kill him. Interesting. I don't know if I would send the Chaplain in. Chaplains aren't super good at fighting. They're okay. But unless this Chaplain gets real lucky, I don't think he's going to kill Mephiston. Right. Mephiston's going to wipe the floor with him if he needs to. Although he has the Terra guy can kill him, maybe. It'll be interesting. I think we could still see characters get killed for Nick here to keep the score on kills in parity, maybe, but we'll see how it goes. Thrasher 2005, Nick's now a bum. Because he can't score 5 points this turn. Now he could score 5. We could see a 5-point turn. If we see, you ready for this? This Captain charges here, charges this guy here, kills him, consolidates onto this objective. He puts the Chaplain charges here, consolidates onto this objective, and he already holds this one. The Inceptors drop here, right? And then charge these orange guys and get onto 2, and he bonuses that turn, and then he holds more, and if he wipes all this stuff, he kills more. We could see him 5-point turn for the rest of the game. Or is he a bum because he can only get 39? Because he only had only a 2-point turn 1? That's fair, I guess. That's too bad. I'll have to let him know at the end of the game. Looks like the Inceptors are not dropping in to fight over Objective 2, so Nick might be a bum.
First things first, we're gonna do.
Oh, I'll tell him, Dan. Don't you worry.
Both these librarians are gonna be closer to the Captain. So, Smite on the Captain goes off in a 7.
I'll try and deny.
How many denies does Mephiston have? 1 or 2?
2. I think I'll double check that for you.
Yeah, we're also inside a
as well.
Psychic Hood aura from Mephiston right now too.
Caster deny 2. And this is into the Captain, right?
Yep.
So the Psychic powers this turn might be a little bit awkward for Nick. Yeah, he just needs a 7 to,
Yeah, we'll
to
try
block
do
him.
that.
Nope, no, I rolled a 3. Never mind.
Right. Damage to the captain. 2.
Pink him for 2.
Philippine. Yeah, he takes 2.
And we'll cast another smite from the guy with knowledge of power. Goes off on a 9.
Oof.
How many casts do you have left?
I don't think I would
2
try
more.
to deny that. Wait for an easier Scryer's Gaze or something.
And it's just damage prevention stuff, right? Or shackles. Yeah, I'm probably more worried about the mortals than anything else. I'll try and
DPR, yeah, that's a damage
Okay.
prevention roll.
Nine
Feel
goes
no
off.
pain is kind of a confusing term because
Well,
it's
maybe
another
feel-
turn that the term that doesn't exist
so
in the
it
game.
doesn't.
But damage prevention, I think, is a little bit more self-explanatory. Oh man! And speaking of damage
So rough.
prevention, the captain just prevents
Okay.
2 damage
Alright, at
on
least you have
himself.
no more
Sorry,
deniers.
the captain. I think I typed 2 out of 5.
He only took 2 on last time. He should have 2 left.
Yeah. Okay. Just double
You
check.
only took
Yeah.
2.
I don't remember him losing a win to anything because yeah, it's just he's on 2.
Yeah, I haven't swung it.
Hopefully, 9th
Alright,
edition brings
Scryer's
back the term
Gaze,
"feel no pain," so we
goes
can
off
stop
on
trying to
an
make
8,
like
doesn't
weird
feedback.
workarounds, so it doesn't confuse people.
And then the other one is going to be
Although I don't like the term "feel no pain" just in general. I think it should be something cooler sounding
we're gonna cast Strike Skin.
or more descriptive, I guess.
Goes I'm not gonna understand. All right.
And it looks like Darkwind did regenerate a CP with his Scryer's Gaze that turn too. That could be big. He's going to start getting his 2 CP strats back if he's able to get another Scryer's Gaze off next turn, if he doesn't need to use the
We're gonna
reroll
go
right
shooting.
now.
We're gonna fire the Stalker first into the Sanctuary Guard. I'm pretty sure I'm on my lowest profile. So I'll go to 3, 4 to 5. You fly.
Look at that line of sight.
So I
Gorgeous.
get +1. So I'm gonna get 3 on 4 against the Sanctuary Guard.
Oh, I love that we're using the Stalker's anti-air ability here. I think that's
Stars.
adorable.
So 3 hits. Looking for 3. 3 wounds. AP 1. Let's go upstairs. 2 damage.
Could get him.
Damage.
I think we kill him.
And Philippine.
Yeah. He died.
There you got
Boom.
him.
Good job, Stalker. Even after getting hit with all the Thunder
We're gonna
Hammer, still
fire
able to
5
perform.
bolt pistols from the
Proud
grab
of
devs into the scouts that are in our face.
Mhm.
5 hits. 4 4s.
Ooh.
Zero ones. 1 wound.
All
Loves
right.
it. Loves it. The Inceptors are gonna fire into the Sanguinar.
Would have been neat
Okay.
if actually does Nick have the
There.
CP to turn his flamers into a pistol here? I forget if that's 2 or 3 CP or 1 or 2 CP.
On 3. Master Arse, one of these. And then Woody New on 3. I'm rerolling 1. So 19 AP2, so 4 upstate. 3 up. 5. Guys, right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Okay.
Sanguinar just got burned down
Oh.
by by the Inceptors. Oh, gross. That is a big deal. Now this Smash Captain doesn't even need to.
Oh, sure, it wasn't covered, but I only rolled 1 to 3, right?
Yeah, you really won 3. I'm AP2 in the Scepters, so.
Yeah.
Smash Captain doesn't have to
Okay,
expose himself to try to kill that guy.
I am going to spin a CP and do Emulation Protocol.
Emulation Protocol.
My
Oh, he's
flamers
doing it!
become pistol weapons.
Ah, we got the flamer pistols going, ladies and
So I'm
gentlemen.
gonna have 2 cents fire into the captain here.
That's not how that works.
I'm gonna have all the cents fire into the captain.
Nick, you have to shoot the your mods have to shoot the closest unit with pistols. So the only 1 cent could shoot the captain, and then 1 could shoot Ashrath, and 1 could shoot the ancient. It looks like, or maybe Mephiston.
I thought pistols. Everyone's considered the closest with that, or is it just literally?
No, that's a wording of the pistol rule. When you fire in melee with pistols, you have to target the closest unit to that model.
Wouldn't be that closest unit. Is it to unit or to
It's model. It's when a model fires a pistol, it has to target the closest unit.
So it only gets really weird when it's around characters. All right, then I'm not going to do immolation protocols. I'm just going to fight it out. I don't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
Um.
All right, I'm sorry, chat. I had to rain on everyone's parade here. That's so sad. I want to see this guy get burned down by flamethrowers. Pretty good chance he just gets killed by this guy, by the sergeant. And then we shoot.
Fire here.
I don't know.
7. Looking for 2s. Master Artisan. Looking for 3.
Thrasher debated by the rules lawyer. That's me.
Yep, EP1.
I'm the world's proudest rules lawyer.
I can get
I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry I ruined the immolation protocols play.
Then the other Thunderfire is going to
hashtag Trevied. I don't know. Read your rules, ladies and gentlemen. You can't Trevor you if you play perfectly. So it looks like one Thunderfire knocked the 2 scouts off 5, and now we're shooting at the scouts on 3, I imagine.
3.
But not doing that hot.
Oh, I rolled too many dice. Definitely fail one save. Though.
Yeah, CJ, I'm in here with a squeegee, making sure it's a clean stream. Fenomeno, why would you pull off of the objective? Yeah, there you go. Proud of you, buddy. There you go. That'll do. Hey, I appreciate it, TJ. Yeah, thanks for joining, and thanks everybody again for watching. Taking time off their Saturday morning to watch some 40K. This has been a good game so far. It's actually very swingy. I think Nick is thoroughly in the driver's seat right now. Fenomeno wants this game state to happen 1 to 2 rounds in the future, but unfortunately, leaving the Thunderfire cannons able to shoot meant that he didn't have the option to hold back and charge in later. I think if Fenomeno could have and wasn't putting himself in danger, if he was able to just sit a bunch of characters in Sanguinary Guard on this objective 5 and grab 1 to 2 more bonus points and then engage round 3 or 4, that's where he wants to be. But unfortunately, the big punch from the Grav devs and the Thunderfires being able to knock his backfield support models out kind of forced him into this into a bad fight there.
So you have no CP to fight when you die. I guess I'm just going to do charges now.
Sanguinarius, 1 a.m. where you are. Well, I very much appreciate you sticking around and staying up late to watch the game. Where are you located, by the way? Where's everybody in the stream from? I know the last stream we had a bunch of East Coast US, a bunch of massholes in the stream, which was fun.
I shouldn't fail.
Nick Rose, actually a local player to myself.
He makes it.
And I know At Valdor said that he's in my area as well, so we do have some Massachusetts people. But it sounds like we have some international people also in the chat as well. I know Ines is in there from Scotland. Fenomeno is also from Scotland.
Chaplin's going to go into Mephiston.
So a little bit of
He makes it too.
Oh, here comes the charges.
The Chaplin's going to charge everyone too. Just
yeah. Okay.
Thrasher 2005, don't look behind you.
Just the captain. The lieutenant's charging everyone here.
I did hear some scary noises coming from my closet earlier.
And
Headrush 720 Braintree, Sam Dykoff, Massachusetts. Look at you guys.
And then
we have a couple. We have a big Scottish contingent cheering on Fenomeno, our Scottish finals player here. George, Australia.
Okay.
Sanguinarius, Australia also. Woo. CJ from the Netherlands.
I think that's it. So I'm going to do Librarian 1.
Shady Aces from Pennsylvania.
So.
Sam Dykoff near Milford. Yeah,
hopefully have
dude.
that happen.
Can I just double check something?
I think that's about 40 minutes from
Can
now.
I heroically intervene with a character model that's already in combat?
You're engaged.
Yeah, we've got a lot of
you still have to
Engine
move
Wars
closest to
spoilers
the
up in
model,
the
right? So if
Discord
you
right
wanna
now,
do
too.
heroically intervene with Mephiston,
All
for
of the
example,
AdMech
But I
stuff, I
could,
think, has been
for
spoiled,
example, here,
and
if
a
heroic
lot
intervene
of
with
the
Mephiston
demon stuff has been
around this
spoiled, but
chaplain,
not all of it,
putting him out of range of your lieutenant and centurion.
I think.
Theoretically.
If there's
No,
more
well,
demon stuff,
if I wasn't base to
I'll
base
take a
with
look at
the
that. That's
chaplain,
exciting.
then
I have
yes.
Shuma is another local to me. He's
but
very
you
excited
are
about
base to
demons.
base with him.
Yeah. The only ones I'm not base to base with are these two. So I guess Trevor, is that right? You who are intervene if you're engaged but not base to base. I forget that.
Yes, you can there is never a situation in which you're prevented from heroically intervening.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You can
Captain's
always
base, just like
declare a
Captain's
heroic
base.
intervention. It's just whether or not you actually get to move matters.
Yeah, so you can do it with these two guys if you want. So I actually
yeah.
these things are real models. You actually can't you put it on top. They changed something. Did you change that, Trevor?
I didn't do anything.
Remember these would fall over.
Oh, the little This is the latest version of the map base. So the bushes might be a different collider. But yeah, Mephiston can still declare a heroic intervention and get the benefits from it. He just can't move if he's based.
Okay, so I think what I really want to do is just get this singular ancient away from your captain as much as possible. So he's closer to the
Head rush 720. Ethan is never excited about anything.
If you can get away.
That's too right.
You just have to chart. You have to heroic.
Shuma, the Shuma salt is the best kind of salt.
Yeah, so that's all. So I think you're fine there.
Yeah.
I don't think Ashrath can get away.
No, he's not trying to. He's it's just if the ancient dies, I lose my feel no pain aura, so I don't want him dying first, basically.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to roll the librarian one into the captain here. Master Ryerson here. The 3 hits.
RGC 2005. I used to play a Space
Looking
Marine artillery list. Excuse me. Back in November, and holy crap, did I get bored? No way I'm going back to that. I hated it.
The 3 wounds in the captain.
I could play like Space Marine infantry though. I do like playing.
Yeah, so EP3
I do like playing the Space Marine infantry list.
All right, storm shield. One goes through.
2 damage.
Feel no pain. I think he's dead.
Right.
Oof. So there goes the captain, and no CP to fight when they die. Very sad. CJ Stam, am I coming over to Europe at some point?
I'm going
for
to
sure.
do the
At some point,
chaplain
I will be
into
coming to Europe,
the
and I'm going to play some
chaplain.
40k. I don't know when that's going to be,
Contact.
but I can 100% guarantee you that I will
it's
be.
on.
I will be going to Europe to play 40k with you guys.
One.
I used to play.
On 3.
I used to play competitive War Machine and Hordes, and I was a WTC team member for a long time. And I have a lot of friends over there from that, and would be happy to come over and play with you guys.
AP what? Sorry.
AP1.
Oh really? I thought it'd be more.
Sanguinarius, you can get the benefits of heroic intervention without being able to move. Yes.
How much damage each?
It's just 2 damage.
Oh, okay. Feel no pain.
So 2 damage for each hit. So
I can double check that there's an FAQ about that, but I'm not aware of one.
Failed 1 save.
Yes, only 2.
Right. Okay. So and I feel no pain 1 of. So it's down to 3.
Looks like the FAQs I can find. Can you perform heroic intervention in your opponent's charge phase if they don't declare a charge? Yes. You can never declare heroic intervention during your turn.
I'm just swinging the captain.
Can characters only perform a heroic intervention against enemy units that charge this turn?
Just gonna
They can
swing
do
the
so
captain
against
and
any
dash
enemy
out.
unit. Those are the only 3 FAQs I can find on heroic
5
intervention.
attacks here.
I thought there was one on units doing it.
Hitting on 3s, obviously. You roll 1. 5 hits. Looking for 2. So 5 wounds.
If a unit has ability to heroically intervene, each model in the unit must finish the move closer than it was. Yeah. There's no.
Let me just check. Is he? Yeah, he's still in.
Yeah, I should definitely move then.
There's
it 3 or
no.
4 or 6?
I think it's
way to stop heroic intervention
Yeah.
effectively. There's no FEQ
Double-check
covering that.
It's probably relevant. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the 6-inch aura. So.
Yeah. It's... Nope. Still enough. He's gone.
Yeah, CJ Stam, when's your super major, dude?
So
Let me know.
then
I'm
in return,
actually,
we'll swing into Mephiston.
I've been mulling a trip to
Seven
Europe.
attacks
I was
there.
actually gonna plan one this
Return.
year, but the
I'll swing in
quarantine
two.
kind of halted my plans.
Reroll 1.
But November
Captain.
might be a possibility, dude.
And then moving on.
Hit me up
You're
with that.
T5, so I'm
That'd be
moving
sick.
on forward. Master Artist.
I actually used to live in
So
Europe.
looks like 5 AP.
I used to live in Ireland. As close to Europe as that is, I guess.
Sit him.
Okay. Alright, so I will activate the Centurions first. I don't know why. I think that's a good idea.
Looks like that's all the charges done. We saw the captain get killed, and we saw
Now,
Astaroth get killed.
interesting,
Mephiston is down to
the Singer
3.
Ancient, since he heroically
Ancient is
intervened into the sense.
full.
No, you still be in the charge. I don't think I get an extra shock assault. Okay, so I'm gonna throw. Singer Ancient has no invul, right?
2 up and then 5 up.
CJ Stam, yeah, go ahead and
Okay,
throw
so
it
I'm
in
gonna
the
throw
in the
4
chat for
attacks
sure.
here, and 6 attacks in Mephiston.
Okay.
We'll do the 6 attacks first into Mephiston. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s for the captain.
Ooh.
I'll go through.
So this is
winging
2
on
Centurions swinging into Mephiston.
2. Wound on 3s. I'm AP4. Yeah, I'm not going to spend my Master of Arts reroll. So you can make your saves.
Does he not wound on 2s?
I only need 1 of them to go through.
AP 3, 4.
They're AP4. For some god awful.
Does the 2 there wound Nick?
Their strength 5 doubled. So
Yeah, so, and he's only toughness 5, right?
Yeah. I wound.
Yeah, I thought
So
you
it's
pulled a
gonna be
2 out.
8.
Sorry, that's why I was confused.
Oh, did I pull 2? I didn't think it mattered, so.
well, it's either 15 or 18.
Yeah.
They're 5 damage, right? So
Yeah, I guess at the end, I don't think it will. R.I.P.
let's see
Mephiston.
if he survives the 15, we can check the replay.
Yeah. He tried. He
Almost.
tried.
Best fucking response ever, Finn. Alright, and then I got 4 from the sergeant into the ancient.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to clean up the Blood Angels characters here.
You're rolling 1s for the
And we're
captain,
just going to be
swinging
down
Master
to
Archer here,
scouts and
rerolling
artillery.
2,
I don't know if they can come back,
2.
but they are going to score a couple
Wounding on
additional turns of hold
2s.
more.
Reroll the 1 for the lieutenant. Alright.
Oh, all right. He's guaranteed to survive.
Oh,
right?
but the
So-
Sanguinary
so
Ancient's
what
going to stick around for a
Yeah.
turn. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Only 3 damage.
Hero of the chapter. Let's do it.
Jackass. Oh well.
Yeah, me to activate something. It will be the scout. So what's that? 7 attack.
Oh, for the scouts, gotcha. I was like, what? 7 attacks where?
No, yeah, I think we'll leave the ancient. We'll save the ancient for last.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So it's 3 guys, none of us charged, and there's a sergeant in the mix, so it should be 7 attacks with combat knives, whatever.
Yeah.
It's looking for 3s to win.
4s.
4 wins.
You-
Blood
you-
angels, right? So I get +1 to
But-
win.
Isn't that only when you charge or heroic intervene? And we're past that phase?
Oh, maybe actually.
If you guys get +1 to wound all the time,
Yeah, it
I
has
will
to
be-
be a first round of combat for the +1 to wound on Blood
Yeah,
Angels.
sure. Okay, 2 wins. 2
okay.
wins.
I would be like, what?
Usually there isn't a second round of combat, right? So I've never really.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, then I got my 4 attacks, the sergeant, and Gainsford. Back into this.
I'm going to see these tactical marines beat out scouts, combat scouts in melee.
Master Arts in here.
Oh my god.
Wounding on 4. Oh, these guys cannot fight their way out of a paper battle. Can't shoot,
No.
can't fight.
Oh, they killed
Oh,
two of
never
them.
mind.
There you go.
It's good. It's good.
Stop complaining, Nick. You're
too
gonna
soon.
murder those dudes.
All right, ancient, go town.
See if
He
that
was
ancient
charged
can
this turn,
finish.
right?
Oh yeah, he's got extra attacks.
See if the ancient can finish
base.
a centurion off here.
So it's 4 attacks.
It's one down to one wound.
Yeah.
Off a shock
Maybe
assault.
get two if he gets lucky.
Yeah, it has to be the same. All hit. You are toughness
He's 6.
5, 6. Guess
Yeah.
I need 4s to win with the axe, so 2.
Yeah, the
Ooh,
centurions have Drake skin on them
sneaky.
right now, so they're +1
You
toughness.
still correct? Or you? Or did
Turns
you go
out
to
that's
Result
pretty.
Factor?
That's a pretty important bump right here against the
It's still
incarnate
battle
Axe.
round 2. This is your turn 2, right?
Never mind, it is.
I mean, I'd like to, but
the 4 ups. Sorry. One goes through.
okay. D3.
George, is the
Yeah.
Blood Angels army basically dead? So
Please tell me.
yeah, the big
Third centurion
beaters of the
dies.
Blood
Can you
Angels
make
army
3
is dead.
sixes? Not make
They still have all of their artillery
1
left.
sixes.
So they are still going to be able to pick up a couple additional kills this game. But the big
Brutal.
downside is, unfortunately, these two whirlwinds are basically useless in this matchup
I don't think
because
I butcher bills.
they have an autocannon profile, so they're only -1
I hold
AP.
one. I killed one. I think I killed
And
one.
the Salamanders doctrine, or the Salamanders chapter tactic
Yeah,
of
you could just
ignoring
discuss
1
the
AP
3 characters
is
there, so
gonna kill them. So
maybe
I mean, they
something
could bounce some wounds off of the
Yeah, I can't
Inceptors to grab
kill- I can't
gangbuster
get
points,
multiple kills.
but
Sorry, 3 characters.
and then the Contemptor is going to deal a little bit of damage.
Objective.
Definitely got-
If it's
definitely
able,
got to kill more.
if they're able to kill this the Grav Dev squad, there's not a lot that can reach out and touch him right now
Yeah, I think
in
that's all I
the
got. Here you go.
the Salamanders army. So I
Yeah,
mean, the
good
game's not
buttons.
over, but I do think that Nick
Well,
is
some of
solidly
them
in the
so
driver's seat.
Had
Oh,
their
sorry.
captain brutally murdered.
And we do see Fenomeno pull out
I'm gonna do
another
+2 to
4-point
charge.
turn there. So he
One
does
Zero
have
Raider reroll.
the
Doesn't go
early
off,
game
and we'll
lead that he
do +1
needs,
wound.
but
One Zero Raider. All right, we'll do that.
but I don't know if he's going to be able to swing back.
We'll do it on the sense.
Yeah, the Salamander's brick is really
Ugh,
hard to
that
punch
was
through for
bloody.
sure. But I mean, Fenomeno did do what Blood Angels are good at. He forced this army right back into
you
its
go.
deployment zone. I think he has to. He can score his bonus if he's able to get this scout
None of this is great.
onto this objective, but I don't believe that he can do it with the wings out like they are.
Yeah, I mean,
But I think he has to
I've
pull
got
out of
pretty
melee
much
with
all
the
your
scout.
melee
He
out.
has to put 4 las cannons and the 2 whirlwinds into killing this unit, so that they can't shoot the Contemptor later. And then you just pull everything back and hide for a turn, and hope you can sit on your
well,
hold
that's the
more and
orange
potentially
scout.
bonus points. These guys did roll a 6. Maybe they get to both objective 2 and 5. No, I guess they're not. Yeah, it didn't hurt that the Blood Angels rolled very poorly on the Centurions.
And you, sorry, I'll go to the
I
just in
was
case.
expecting the Centurions
gonna
to
say
die
got
from all of
full.
that
And you got a
punching,
second
but the
punch on
transhuman
Angels.
really saved them, and a couple bad damage rolls saved them.
Oh, sure, the second centurion.
And some solid saves on Nick's part as well. But when you're stacking the 5+ armor save with the 6+ DPR, you're just rolling so much dice that you're going to convert
What's
a
the
couple of
range of
them,
these?
and every one of them is so
Right,
impactful
okay.
against this Blood Angels list. Every save that you make, it's really hard for them to fight through. I do think that Fenomeno would be actually solidly in the game, if not winning, if he was able to kill these Thunderfires. I think the Thunderfires are going to kill him because if he's able to sit back, put all of his shots into the Inceptors, and knock them out, Nick has no real way of pushing across the table besides his jump characters, who could potentially actually just die to scouts, right?
All back.
Scouts with +1 with
Coward.
-1 to
Coward.
+1 to wound in melee. But unfortunately, the Thunderfire cannons are going to start slowly killing those infantry, and there's not much that Fenomeno can do about it. We will see how he plays through, though. If he's able to grab a couple more bonus points, he may
As annoying as possible.
be able to.
Yellow squad.
to pull out at least a close game.
Not move.
George, G3 damage weapons are so awful. Yeah. I mean, that's another reason I would have liked to have seen the Sanguinary Guard get into the Centurions that turn instead of staying 12 inches away from them, like they did. Is if they were able to get a long charge and get in, they can use the stratagem to make their weapons minimum 2 damage, and then you don't quite have that issue.
11, so.
Thrasher, Nick had not made a single 5+ save or a 6++ on the Incursors. He made a bunch of them. The Incursors had 6-up armor into the 6-up DPR, and they're a little bit less impactful because if you get, it's harder to make 2 out of 3 DPRs than it is to make 1 out of 4, right? If that makes sense, it's significantly harder.
And the green squad.
But the Incursors did actually make a lot of saves as well. I don't know. I don't think that the dice really made a. Actually, I think there was good. The dice probably evened out throughout the course of that combat phase. I think Transhuman just straight up saved the Centurions 100%.
He's only 18-inch range, but 10. And then
Both players played it pretty well. I think Fenomeno was just a little bit too cagey and didn't quite get the damage he needs.
Right. I thought how desperate do we get here? Is it even worth trying to hold on? Maybe. Just hope you stay away from me for 4 turns. You're all pretty far away, right? You are. Those Thunderfires, though, are gonna rack up kill more.
Yeah, Fenomeno sort of realizing the same issue is that the scouts
the Stalker's gonna come out to play too, right?
Gonna get blasted.
He's gonna be fearless and just racking everything, hitting on 6s.
Yeah, I think that's us for the movement phase. We'll go to shooting. So, the Relic Contender, you can see these instead.
So we're gonna try to start picking at the Acceptors instead of the Grav Cannon Devastators.
Hang on, too.
Yeah, Sanguinarius, the issue is that he needs to have something on these objectives, right? That's kind of a downside of Pure Blood Angels is that you don't have any.
No, 4 wounds.
Everything's a combat model in the army for the most part.
Strength 9. 6s. 4 go through. So I do have 3 wounds each.
First one. Second one, just
1 damage.
Third one on the same guy.
Oh, jeez, dude.
2 guys die.
That's so brutal. 2 1s and 2 for damage on the last cannons. That is the downside of those.
Worse.
A lot of times you'll save a CP to reroll one of those damage rolls to get a kill on that shot, but
so 43 shots.
And then we're gonna fire the whirlwinds into them all together. It looks like.
And then 3.
I do think Fenomeno needs to pick up a kill here. I think I might have just fired into the grav cannons to pull them off the table.
Only on 3s. 4 wins. AP -1. But you ignore that.
Yep, 3 up saves.
And one guy eats 1 damage.
Got it.
Or 2 is down to 1.
So we get 1 more gangbuster.
Go to the 6. No.
Yeah, no kill that
Did you get
turn.
12 or is it? No,
That's gonna suck for Fenomeno. I think he could have just knocked the. He could have with those dice. He could have just knocked this unit out of the table.
The scout's gonna score.
Unfortunately, they might.
Yeah,
they're probably in a position to run.
I'm sure he's in.
Behind this wall and threaten the Contemptor and force it to move to get -1 to hit. Which
yeah, that's true. I guess it depends if you want to run away.
I probably do want to run away if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, especially if you want to recon.
We would just fall back to over here. All right, no combat, so I'll hit enemy lines, recon, hold. Didn't kill anything.
Actually, question: Can you get behind enemy lines and recon at the same time, or is that the question you were just gonna ask, Trevor?
That's exactly what I was gonna ask. You're too smart for me.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'll just choose one of them.
You probably, I think you just take the behind enemy lines right now because recon's scoreable later if the scouts survive. But I don't think you have a chance to get behind enemy lines ever again. It's probably
we'll see
6 of one,
behind
half a dozen the other. I think I don't know
Getting
if
back in your deployments on this game.
you're gonna ever be able to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Recon
it
might
looks
be a
like
little
Fenomeno
bit
came to the same
harder,
conclusion.
Recon will be dicey. but
There's a potential
not
that he
technically
gets
impossible.
that he gets
Yeah, over to
the behind enemy lines,
Alright,
or that he
I don't
gets
have
the
to worry
recon
about
again.
running
But I
off the
think it
other
is still
guys
unlikely
'cause we
because
didn't
he has
lose
to
enough.
push through this past this
We're gonna run
ruin,
for the Inceptors.
and the ruin will.
Before
Anything in
Shogun
line of sight will
14.
get blasted. He gets his hold objective here.
Every point matters.
Did we roll morale on those Inceptors?
Their leadership 9. They only lost 2.
I think.
Can't tell.
Were they within range of the chaplain? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Fenomeno did hold that turn, right? You get a point for holding.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
No bonus, but hold.
Yeah, unfortunately, no way to. I wonder
Captain is
if
gonna
he just
run.
missed an opportunity, a bonus point here. I wonder if that's 12 inches.
And
That could be
Trevor,
frustrating.
Even if the chapel was in range, they only lost 2, so leadership 8, they'd still be fine.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're a 5-man, not a 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Chaplain running.
Yeah, so I think that ancient. I
Yeah,
think if
the jump
Fenomeno
hack.
was thinking about it a little bit harder, I think it looks like could have just run to objective 5 and scored him a bonus point that turn. And that would have softened the blow a little bit of this turn. He ended up going back here, so if the Thunderfire stands still, he can
15.
intervene into them. But I think they're just going to shoot him to death. The Stalker will probably just kill him.
There.
Yeah, so that's in my opinion. I think that's a misplay on Fenomeno's part. That's a free point. You're just giving up right there. And I would have liked to have seen him shoot at a unit to kill it. At maybe the Grav Cannon devs to kill them. You can fire the Whirlwinds aren't going to do that much damage to the Inceptors. You can just fire them into the Grav Cannons and see if you get them low enough that maybe one last cannon from the Contemptor Dreadnought kills them. I don't know. You do have to kill the Inceptors for Gangbusters, though. But I think you have another turn or two to drop shots into them. And then you always have the drop pod as well that you can just dump 4 las cannons into and have a very good chance of killing. So Fenomeno, if he can continue to score kills with these artillery in the back, he can get 2 points every turn. And Nick is still a while away from being able to hold more in bonus. He'll probably hold more this turn because he'll kill these scouts, but he won't be bonusing. And he's down 11 points right now. He has ground control in the back pocket that he's probably going to max out. So he's really only down 7. But that's still a big deficit to fall back on, especially if Fenomeno's grinding 2 points a turn.
We're there.
Sanguinarius is behind enemy lines in objective 5, yeah. Or behind objective 5 and behind enemy lines, yeah. I believe the deployment zone is like here.
All right.
I think it's the deployment zone is 27, and the center of the objective is, or the deployment zone is 24, and I think the center of the objective is 27. So I think you have like this area in your deployment zone.
An 8. Wait.
But you also have the scout back here.
Goes off in a 7.
Who would score behind enemy lines anyway?
1 on the ancient.
Alright, zone banner, gives him a field.
Yep. Smite with the knowledge of power guy. Goes off in a 7.
So here come the psychic powers.
For 3.
Probably just kill the sanguinary ancient. Oh no, he's alive.
Or might not.
Excellent.
We'll have to shoot him with a flamethrower.
Then we're just gonna cast Fire Shield in the sense. Goes off in a 6.
Kind of interesting, though.
Shooting.
If Fenomeno is able to
Scout
kill
snipers. You're gonna fire
the
into the Singer Ancient
Inceptors,
there.
Mhm.
I think
these
I got 6
Smash
left there.
characters are
Remember, you gotta
losing
shoot them long game
their
still.
character screening.
Okay.
And the Contemptor, if they're
Yeah,
ever
should
sort of
be
out
fine.
in line of sight and pushing
3,
forward, the Contemptor could just turn
6,
around and kill
the 6 Scout
one or both of them.
snipers into
This
Singer
Contemptor
Ancient.
actually kind of becoming a problem for for Nick.
8 on 3s.
Doesn't have any long range anti-tank shooting.
Master Rudderson, one of these. 6 hits, looking for 4s. Master Rudderson. So it looks like 3 saves and 1 mortal.
Okay, we'll do the save switch. Yep, and then just the one more. Ooh, guess.
Right. It goes away. Alright, cool. Alright, can these interceptors actually fire? No. 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 I can't see those guys. Okay. So we're gonna fire Thunderfire Cannon at the Yellow Scouts. First one.
All right, here comes the great Scout Purge of 2020, where we start blowing up all the troop choices. In preparation for 9th edition, where troop
shots,
choices probably won't be
2s.
required.
Cool. Oh, yeah, I hit on 2s. Never mind. Winning on 3s. Master Rudderson.
Oh god, 100% conversion. Look at that.
One, right?
Yeah, AP1. So
Only
we
kills
got one guy out in cover.
2.
But he's a scout sergeant, so I don't know if you want to keep him last or how you.
Honestly don't know how this works. So if I was to remove the Scout Sergeant first, I've already rolled the saves, right? So I'm assuming I was just assuming that all my saves would be as if they weren't in cover.
Okay,
I
so
guess
then you move 4, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Could have done it one at a time. But yeah, we'll just.
Oh, my bad. Actually, we'll just kill them all.
You're gonna kill them anyway, right?
Yeah.
You would.
For the next 4 turns, I'm pretty sure you'll get these
Hey.
guys.
Pretty much, right? You'd hope so. This other Thunderfire. So he's gonna shoot. the other
This stage of
Thunderfire
the
is gonna
game,
shoot the right
Thunderfire
squad.
is so brutal. Holy crap, dude. Jeez. Just gonna start
Number shot.
racking
Oh.
points up for Darkwing. Holy crap.
A lot. 8 on 2s. Master Rudderson here. 11 hits. 1 on 3s. 11 wounds.
Oh my
You got 3 out of cover.
god.
Right, so I should just take these 3 at a time then.
Yeah, I would. Here,
That's so brutal.
So 5 ups.
Okay, so 2 of the
Yep.
cover guys die, and then I'll just take them one at a time until this guy dies. So.
Yeah. Oh, you did. Then you got
And then-
2. I get 4 ups, right?
Then just take all. Yeah.
Jeez. Well, yeah, this is going pretty south. I don't think I've ever seen Thunderfire cannon shooting quite that effective. Usually it takes 2 Thunderfire cannon shots to kill a squad, but these guys are like, nah, dude,
Yeah,
we loaded the good
right.
rounds this time. No Tremor shells
why
today.
not
It's
get
all
Patriot's Bill?
super killy
I
shells.
wasn't expecting to murder everyone like that.
Leaves the Inceptors, I don't think, had a target
I'm
this
just gonna
turn.
shoot him. Drop pod's gonna shoot there.
See if they can get taken
So I
out
just-
by the Contemptor
Yeah,
this
you
turn.
can take him. I got plenty of guys to fire at him.
Kills the last scout. So no more behind enemy lines for Fenomeno, I think. He did score pretty well on them.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. I hold
Last
3
turn.
objectives. I'm gonna hold more,
Hold
and
more,
I'm
kill
gonna
more.
kill more. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
I got
here's
one before
here
Butcher's Bill.
comes Nick
Did I kill the
starting to pull
Warlord?
back
See what I
the
did.
score deficit.
Yeah, it would have been the captain. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, Bloody
And
Jones.
Fenomeno just down to 2 units
and
of
I'm doing my
scouts.
litany, plus
The
2
artillery
Goes
and
off,
that's
plus
it.
1 ability.
left on the table.
60 inches.
He's probably going to shoot the Inceptors down this turn. Between some scout shooting and the whirlwinds, I imagine he picks that kill up, and which maxes him his Butcher's Bill, or his Gangbusters, excuse me. And then he just has to survive sort of the characters coming in and additional turns of shooting from the Thunderfires. Looks like he's going to try to null the Thunderfire cannon shooting by placing the scouts out of range, but they're... And these ones are going to get shot by the Inceptors anyway. Contemptor's moving away from the grav cannon shots, but that does mean he's going to be -1 to hit. I would chain these scouts out, honestly, and shoot pistol shots into these guys because we are in Assault Doctrine now. Oh, I guess that doesn't matter because there's Salamanders. Never mind. But you do have a guy on 1 wound, and so you could try to plink him with a pistol shot or a grenade, and that frees up your multi-damage shooting a lot more to really wreck these dudes. That is
Just
also
trying to
the
check
only
the angle
unit
for
screening
these guys
the
not to Overwatch if
characters.
they make a charge.
If you get some lucky shots into the Lieutenant, you could pull him off the table too. And killing the jump pack characters, those guys are going to be how
I guess.
Nick scores his ground control at the end of the game. And if you knock those guys out, it's going to be real tough for him to get that far. Not really sure what Fenomeno is placing here. The Inceptors can just move 10 inches. I don't know, so I don't think the line of sight really matters. If you
You're happy
are...
that your Inceptors can't see my scouts, or can they just see the corner of the scout?
Oh, he's maybe going for a charge?
Yeah, I don't think I can see them until I move, right?
Maybe still see an elbow. I don't know. It's,
You basically got the Relic Contemporary lined up for another shot, is what you're basically doing.
yeah, it's just like a 1 in a million that the scouts need to go in and finish somebody off before they get thunder fired to death. Okay, we'll go to the shooting phase. Relic Contemptor into the Inceptors. I moved this turn, so hang on 3s.
Ugh.
One,
This Contemptor not pulling its weight right now. Oh,
Wounds.
jeez, that's brutal.
Picks up. Nope, goes through. I think I die.
I think a little
Oh,
bit
sure.
of a misplay there. I would have you
just
needed to
the
shoot the
Whirlwinds
Thunderfire, the
the
Whirlwinds in
Whirlwinds,
first to knock the 1 wound guy off, because that would have. He just wasted basically 2 points of damage on that unit. Whirlwind's considering not shooting the
Just tactical squad, I guess.
Inceptors.
There's only 3 guys left in that squad, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll just...
I think he's gonna
Shoot
try to
this.
secure a kill on the Tactical Marines, though.
11 shot.
We're rolling all the Whirlwind shots together, just to save time, but it does
Bunch of hits.
you lose some efficacy, because if one of
This many
them
wounds, so
kills
you're
the
ignoring
Yep, so 3 ups.
yeah, if one
Got him, right.
All right.
could have
oh,
just
you got
turned
a
around and
kill.
fired the second Whirlwind. That's a little bit of a mistake here. I think Fenomeno
I'll take it.
probably.
This is turn 3 or turn 4?
This is turn 4, so...
I think you do charge the scouts in now, probably. I guess he's deciding not to, though, because they are going to get killed by the
Basically, these
Thunderfire.
guys are just dead anyway. They're gonna charge your...
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Inceptors.
Needs a 7 with the +1, it looks like. Yeah, 8-inch move would make it, so he needs a 7 to roll on the dice.
Just double check. You have it with an 8, yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Not that any of this really matters, but let's see.
Makes it.
7 + 1 for Blood Angels. That'll do it.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay there, I think. You could have... I would have just aimed for the pistol shots with these guys, because they're going to die to charges next turn anyway, so them being in line of sight doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really
I think I would have
matter.
just pushed them out to here, because the Thunderfires don't have any better
So,
targets than the Scouts regardless.
Shock Assault, Savage Echoes, Sergeant, Combat Knives should be 21 attack.
And we are
Yep,
have
I'm gonna
the
spend
+1
1
attack
CP
for...
+1 save against this. I'll have a 2 up because it's all damage 1.
Alright. Hang on 3. Toughness 5.
Yeah,
When you're on 4s. Alright, 5 wins on your
2 up save now. And take it.
worth it.
Yeah, that could have gone really bad for me. I got my attacks back. I only have 3 attacks. Yeah, with the shock assault. So 6 plus 7 for the sergeant. They hit on 3s. Master Artisan here. And only strength 4. So wounding on 4. Master Artisan here. So 3 wounds, AP 1.
That does kind of slow the Inceptors down a little bit, though. Not killing them sucks, but at least Fenomeno picked up a kill on the Tactical Marines, which is a good play. They fail all their saves, though. I definitely think you go in and base those guys, but that does slow them. They could fall back and still shoot, but they don't. They're not quite. They're not going to be quite as fast.
Yeah.
Moving up the table, and they're probably going to get killed next turn. They can't try to go for the charge on the whirlwinds to stop them from shooting, which is good. They're just going to leave, and not even make it to the objective. They're going to go to, it looks like, to grab the bonus point. Fair enough. And we'll probably see a 4-point turn from Nick here. Pull him back to up to 21-18 with 6 points available at the end of the game. Although that Butcher's Bell may not be scored, I think.
7.
He has to leave these 2 scouts alive. That's a great Butcher's Bell. But I don't think he can afford to do that.
Okay. Librarian running. I can. They both go 5, 6. So 12 here. 11 here. Scouts in the back running. 9.
So at the very least, the Fenomeno has made a hard fight of it, I think. A couple little inefficient plays here so far that could have scored him some additional points. But he... so he could be up at 22.
I mean, this is probably the case last turn as well.
Or 23.
Must be mathematically
23 or
impossible
24.
for you not to win there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think so, right? Because like, I mean, I'm gonna get 4 in ground control. I'm gonna get a bonus point this turn, which will be pretty big. Right? Because Captain's gonna fly over. Well, let me roll his advance roll.
The Inceptors were at a 2+ armor save.
There, the lieutenant's
thanks to stand your ground.
That will guarantee.
So I actually don't think it was that
3.
unlucky.
I'll get 4 for ground control, more than likely. So basically, it's gonna be 3, 6, 9.
If we're talking about the Inceptors.
So 25. Yeah, I should be able, but you never know.
The Contemptor Dreadnought got unlucky for sure.
Just in case.
Yeah, I think I have to get lucky to, like, maybe I go for the Inceptors, try and get Gangbusters. I maybe get 1 more kill point.
It looks like the players might be talking it out at this point.
And then you start pushing me off of the holds. Yeah, I mean, it's I'm happy just to concede at this point.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, they had a stand your ground,
either
the
way.
Salamander stratagem, to give +1 save against
for my wife,
1 damage
so.
weapons.
Yeah, no, I don't want to keep you longer than is necessary. But yeah, there's just the firepower is just not there, right? You'd have to.
I'm gonna throw the.
Refuse to.
Yeah, because I'm gonna throw the captain, and I'm probably gonna kill these
Exactly.
Last cannon's bad. Yeah, also Fenomeno, I think missing a little bit of
guarantees my
a little bit of suboptimal shooting too. He fired the last cannon into a 1-wound Inceptor, and he could have killed that with anything else, and then hit it with the hit a full one with the Inceptor, and then leave only 1 left on the in the
I
unit.
can get the ground control, and I'll get old school because the lieutenant. I'll have 2 turns to get here, which is easy enough. If we do that, it'd be something like. I don't think I'll get kill. Actually, I'll get kill more because you did get a kill. I won't get a kill more this turn. Next turn it'll be something like this.
Yeah, Fenomeno already had a kill that turn
like
on
this,
the Tactical Marines in the back, so he didn't need to
21.
grab one. This turn he could have turned around and killed the drop pod. It looks like that's what they're calculating out. And that's going to end with a 26-34 game.
Trevor, do you need anything for this, or 34 to 26?
No, that's fine. I'll mark you guys down for the result.
Great game, Finn. I was really worried that you were not going to spend the 3 CP on the captain to swing. Um,
Yeah,
I
after I
figured,
swung with them and none of your Centurions died, I was like, oh yeah, I probably should have just saved that to interrupt or fight on deck.
yeah, the interrupt would have been way, way better. I was actually worried you were going to save that because then you could have killed the sense, and then you probably have two characters, maybe three characters left. I
Yeah.
wasn't too sure, but when you did that, I just got more mileage out of the transhuman. So I was like, oh yes, I can break out now. Um,
Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind that I was giving you more value from your transhuman there. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear from the way I play, right? I've just got no idea what I'm doing most of the time. I have like a rough idea of what maybe a good play might look like. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
well, I don't think you really played it wrong. To be honest, I think the only piece is that 3 CP swing, but that's a hard one to catch, right? Because like most people are going to go for the throat, right? So if it paid off, then you've been great. So it's a high risk, a high reward, right? And you have 7 attacks, so it's not like it's a bad thing, right? The holding for the 2 for is just being more conservative on the other side.
yeah.
I don't
No,
know
I
if
mean,
it's
if there's any like sort of glaring mistakes, or just general advice, I'd really appreciate it. This was always just kind of a lockdown. Let's first that never played tournaments in real life or anything, but we play ITC rules casually, so I have a rough feel for it from podcasts and battle reports and whatever. But I mean, this has been a great experience. Just the whole 4 rounds, T5S2 is so well organized and stuff. So I'm definitely going to be up for more, but it's
yeah,
such a steep
one of
learning curve.
the yeah, I think anything else that you're the list more than anything, right? The Relic Contemporary, the Whirlwinds,
Yeah,
no,
garbage. They'll be
and
gone.
yeah, and actually the scouts, right? Because if someone's got Thunderfires, the scouts can just die really easy, really quick. So
Yeah, no, I spent an embarrassing amount of time. Well, 15 minutes, but given what I was thinking, it was like, oh, do I take Astaroth for the +1 to hit litany and sit my captain beside the whirlwinds and try and pop a Thunderfire? No, they are terrible. They're terrible, the whirlwind. And yeah, Thunderfire just decimate the scout squad, so I could upgrade those to I
yeah,
don't know
I
whether
think
it's
the
intercessors or like impulsors with 5-man squads in them or whatever.
yeah the Blood Angel list I was trying out because I was gonna have to start to play Blood Angels. It was like 2 Stingray Guard, 2 Ancients, and then like 2 Impulsors and like 4 Intercessor squads and 2 Scouts, and then all pretty much all the same characters. And I think I have a Librarian Dread in there, right, which is basically your contemporary, and it just puts more pressure because if you think about it, if you had a Librarian Dread up here and then all their Impulsors Intercessors to block the characters like you did,
Mm,
that'd have been way worse for me. And that's why I threw the Sense into the Stingray Guard, because I figured I'll drop the Inceptors down next turn. Either I can try to kill some of the Stingray Guard with some of my other shooting, which I doubt it, but I would have to throw the Inceptors into either the Stingray Guard to make sure they die, and if I get to pick up another character, that would have been great. But I didn't think that was gonna happen or not. So
yeah, no, appreciate the tip.
yeah.
But yeah, thanks
Alright.
again. Well played.
Yeah, thanks for the game, guys. The chat was like calling it after the Death Company kind of pinged off of the Stalker, and then everyone made
Oh yeah,
their charges turn two, and we were just like, oh, Blood Angels might probably still coming back in here.
Yeah,
But those
I thought
yeah. I
I
think
Centurions
that,
were,
that's the
were
only
heroes.
thing that makes the scoreline look remotely acceptable. Was that turn to uh,
well, I thought it was gonna be
spamming 12
okay.
and 13.
Yeah, like you made 2 12-inch charges. I was like, ah, fuck me. This game might go sideways.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, was it? So I had a couple questions for you, Phenomena, if you have a chance to talk about the game a little bit.
Yeah, I have zero knowledge. Not,
Sure.
my opinion is not in any way qualified. But
Okay. But so the first one was I can't measure in spectator, but unfortunately, but the first turn when the Death Company went in the top corner up here, right?
mhm.
It looked like were they close enough to declare charges on the Thunderfires? Could they
No,
have
12,
declared them? Were they
12.1.
were just outside 12? Okay.
Um,
Because obviously that was like having those guys just be able to do their thing all game was like super devastating.
yeah, I wasn't
And if they're dead, then there's
I checked and checked again.
Yeah,
And just thought,
yeah.
no, even because I think I probably rolled a 6 on the advance for them on the Forlorn Fury, and I was like, oh, literally couldn't
Yeah.
be better. But no,
Yeah, I
I think it was
unfortunately,
deliberate, right? Because you measured the blue line for
yeah,
the absolute
yeah.
worst case scenario.
I for
Okay, yeah,
sure made
that's fair.
the fires could stay out, right? And honestly, I baited the stalker just a little bit, right? Where I was like, all right, he can get some of it in, but not all of it. And then I wanted to make sure I put the 5 intercessors in to stop you from piling in. So this was honestly a little bit bait, because I was hoping if you get there, you wouldn't get everything. You'd have to string back, but I wasn't for sure how that would play out.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if there was. It's probably worth going back and looking at the game to see if there's an opportunity for a try point on one of these units, either the stalker or the intercessors, or a combination of the two.
Well, he
Um,
murdered intercessors, but I had the Tech Marine right here,
right.
so he couldn't try points.
So
This is
yeah,
why
he
I moved the Tech Marine up so the Stalker could fall back.
right. Yeah, it is funky because they fly, right, and it might be worth a double swing if you can bounce if a Death Company guy's like here and he can bounce over the Tech Marine and then go there or something. But I don't know what the positioning looked like.
He probably would have killed the Stalker then.
Yeah, but you can just punch with your fist, right? You don't have to swing with the Thunder Hammers at that point. And the Stalker's kind of hard to kill anyway. You didn't even kill it with the with the Thunder Hammers charging it. So
I had no one's left on the Stalker though. Like
yeah, I mean they'll tune it up for sure with +1 to win.
yeah.
But you don't have a great way of answering the Death Company if they're unshootable on the side. You smite them a little bit, right? But the Centurions are probably out of range to get to melee.
Oh, so I should have deliberately put fewer attacks into the intercessors.
Yeah, that might have been the play. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember how Nick was positioned because he might have been positioned to block the tri point. But I think almost number one in the game, like you're gonna force his models back so hard that it's they're gonna have to take a couple turns to make it back to the objectives on the other side of the table. If you can knock the Thunderfire cannons out, there's probably at least 1 or 2 turns in there that Nick doesn't get any kills because he's not able to kill the scouts in the back. And that there's only an 8-point difference on the score, right? So that and a couple other things together could swing the score back, even if you lose the fight in the middle.
The one thing I didn't do, Trevor, is I didn't do my 2d6 heroic intervention. So.
Oh yeah, you didn't roll that. Yeah, I was talking about that when you declared the Born Protectors. But I think,
you have to end
Fenomeno did looks like positioned the charge well because all of the Death Company ended up over here, right? So they weren't that close to the Centurions.
Yeah, I think so. I think he
I'm
had
gonna be red over here.
one model here or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't roll for it.
Right.
I think it was far away for me to get out of it. I was just looking.
Yeah, you did have to go around the incursors in the middle, right? So it would have been tough.
Yeah. So I don't think it made any big difference. I was really looking for the extra shots to pling through, and I shouldn't have even bothered with it.
It is exciting every time you get to shoot with the with the Centurion Overwatch, right?
Well, I think it'd be like, all right, cool. I need to have the chapter master there, right? So if the chapter master's there, then
it's super good, yeah. But with just rerolling ones, then you're like me.
Well, which is also it's better with the aggressors, right? Because then it's like 108 shots. So
yeah, for sure. The other thing was the turn that the Sanguinary Guard came in over here. It looks like they were they positioned to be 12 inches out from the Centurions to block the Auspex scan?
Yeah.
12.1.
Do you, in hindsight, and I was saying this on the stream while we were talking about it, I think it's worth just to eat the Auspex scan. He does have the Catechism going, which sucks.
So
but if he uses it, he can't transhuman
for
at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I'd thought that far ahead.
Yeah.
He can't. In my mind, I'm just like, I can't have these guys get Auspex.
Right.
He's got +1 to win.
And you're still a 3+ save even against the 1 EP. And you have the damage prevention. Like, it's not great to get shot with 60 bolter shots, but you don't automatically die.
If I just taken a second to glance at the number of CP remaining, I definitely would have. And
then and then at that point, I think you could get at least 2 or 3 Sanguinary Guard over top of the Incursors to fight into into the Centurions, and I don't know if you kill them, but at least you don't lose as many swing back. Yeah.
They were getting in.
And then you can potentially
yeah,
try point the incursors if you're there too, and just make things awkward for Nick on the next turn.
Yeah, no, that the try point thing is, I've heard about it. I've watched a couple of.
Right. Yeah, you have to kind of see the Matrix a little bit to see it.
But yeah, I'm just not remotely at the level where that's in
Yeah.
the forefront of my mind. Still don't remember what half my character order is. Never mind.
Yeah,
So,
it is a big wombo combo of a death ball.
I mean, getting to play a game of this caliber against and have this sort of advice at the end is really helpful. So, for example, try pointing the Death Company.
Yep.
In hindsight, and just eat the Auspex guy.
Yeah.
Just kind of I'll know for future, right?
Yeah, and you said this is your first actual tournament, right? So congratulations.
A couple of friends who hopefully stuck with me to the end and the battle report on YouTube.
Cool,
yeah, we play ITC casually, but never.
Yeah, no, there's a big Scottish contingent up in our up in the chat here today, so I think you had some fans in there.
Disappointed fans.
But it was a good game and it was a good showing for your first tournament ever. You made it to the finals, and that's a good standing to have in your the T5S2 scores. So if you keep at it and grind some more games, I think we could see you in the Invitational.
Keep banging out 12 inches.
However, I think you're right about the Auspex scan, right? Because I wouldn't have done it.
No, I don't think you. Yeah, you can't afford to. You only had 4 CP at that point, and if you ever spend down below 2, so you can't transhuman, game's over. Everything's dead.
I'm not doing that, right? So I think you're right, because I would only kill 3, probably maybe 4.
Yep.
Not worth it.
Yep.
And he's got all the characters.
Right. Yeah, I think you'll trade 3 CP to not have to fight through transhuman any day, or 3 sanguinary guard to not have to fight through transhuman.
Yeah, and I spent my CP on transhuman, and what else did I spend my other 2 on? I forget.
Was there a Born Protectors that turn? Oh no, there was something. I forget.
Self-sacrifice.
The self-sacrifice that turn. Yeah. So the last cannon didn't just pick off a Centurion and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't lose a cento.
Right. Yeah, the self-sacrifice I think was a good call, but I think that you were planning to do that, and if I definitely don't think that you Auspex that turn, and so and if you do, then the Blood Angels are sick, dude.
Yeah,
no interrupts for you, no combat, dice fixing at all. You just get punched in the head.
Yeah, I think the other thing that you probably missed out, Finn, is you probably should have moved the scouts here up further. I didn't get the grab shot here. Because I get to just
when I was moving the thing when I got it, I was just I don't know how. I kind of glanced at it and thought it would take me way too long to work out if it's even possible to zone out your grabs and your grab devs.
Because you were here, and even if you stop here, right? Me going over here in the corner doesn't do anything, right? So I get all my buffs and everything else. It just helps. So.
No, that's a really good point. I kind of thought when I was reading over your list, I thought, okay, I need to do with this, and the grab sense where I'm like, well, I've got 6 scout squads. The only thing they'll be good for is maybe zoning out that drop.
Yep.
When I glanced at it, I thought it's not very possible. I should be paying more attention.
It's definitely one of the hardest drops to screen. You basically have to have the front of your screen's base be 15 inches from the thing that you're screening the grabs out of. And it is really hard because if you give them any leeway, they can get 1 or 2 grab shots in, and even that's 1 or 2, dead sanguinary guard each, and that's that adds up a lot for sure. There were a couple other little things that we were talking about. I think that the ancient that went up here, I think was in range to fall back onto objective 5 that turn, and would have gotten you a bonus point. So it was just there were a couple free little points here or there that I think you could have grabbed.
But you're going for because you're going for double recon and behind enemy lines. That's why.
Well, he can stay on the objective and still be both in recon and behind enemy lines.
That's
right.
So. Again.
So just I guess in future just paying attention to the little points you can grab here and there certainly makes the score look a little bit closer. I think turn 3 when you didn't kill anything, there was the opportunity to redirect shots into just the grav sense or the grav devs and just kill them. Like 4 las cannons and a whirlwind probably wipes that unit out, and then the contemptor's not worried about them, and you get a kill that turn.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And you're
'Cause
just slowly building up the points as the game goes.
So any comments on the Salamanders list?
This
Pepper?
sucks.
Besides they suck.
It's garbage. Oh, we did have a comment from the chat. Thrasher 2005 says Dan says you're a bum. Nick.
Oh, that's
So
fine.
he said at the start of the game that if you didn't get 40 points in this game, you're a bum, and you got 34. So what's wrong with you?
I can't help it. Alrighty.
We talked about in the semifinal game. You were thinking of switching. It was the Centurions down to aggressors, right? And then you turn the whole army into Red Scorpions.
Yeah. So
is that still the plan?
Yeah. So actually, in the what Rise's quarantine hammer things, whatever. So this stalker becomes another Thunderfire. Then it's become aggressors, and then I have Severin Loth. So one of the librarians becomes Severin Loth.
You're hard countering my Maliceptor. I see how it is.
Yeah, like I was ever concerned about Tyranids.
Oh snap! Didn't I trash you the last time we played? I think
but that was like version 20 of the list.
Okay, man. Okay.
But
definitely wasn't pure skill, but whatever.
You did trash me. I mean, let's be honest. You threw me into the dumpster fire.
I did. Just like I do every game I play. I always win.
I remember that Grey Knight game.
Whatever. Grey Knights are bad.
Yeah. No, and I think there's some other couple changes I made too, but I don't know. And I think with 9th edition, I'm going to drop the incursors and just go straight intercessors because there's no reason to have. I can't sack -2 to hit.
Oh sure, yeah.
And obviously I gotta see what happens with the detachments.
Right. Yeah, you might not even need intercessors.
Yeah, I mean I could just drop the tactical squad and maybe the lieutenant.
Yeah.
So. Oh, and I dropped the lieutenant. That's what it is. I dropped the jump pack lieutenant, or a Phobos lieutenant, or a Primaris lieutenant. So.
Just to save points, or.
Yeah, I can't get a jump pack lieutenant.
Yeah.
He's too expensive.
Right.
But pretty much to save point. I mean, actually, if I didn't need the lieutenant, I'd probably drop the lieutenant. To be honest. It's nice for the aggressors, but I mean, most of the time it's overkill anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless I'm playing against Lord of Skulls. But yeah, I think that's it. We'll see how this 9th edition goes, though.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a big switch up. I think a lot of things are gonna change. I have to imagine that like sort of list paradigms will shift pretty drastically, because we also don't know what's happening with the missions, right? We don't know if they're gonna look anything like ITC, and your composition might change accordingly.
Yeah, and missions and points, right? Like the people were talking about, since there's not an April FAQ, they were going to roll it up, and I think GW said something on the Twitch channel, right? Like there was going to be point changes and adjustments they had. So I don't know what that looks like either.
Right.
I'm assuming like assault sense go up.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like, everything that they hated at LVO, I'm assuming that all stuff goes up.
Yeah.
Would be my thought. I'm assuming Chaplain Dreads are gone.
Oh yeah, please legend those. Anybody, all the GW staff who watch all my streams all the time, definitely just get rid of those models.
Yeah, well, and I hope they don't get rid of. I hope they don't really mess with the Assault Sense too much, right? Because really, the problems with the Assault Sense was.
It's just Raven Guard, right?
Yeah, Raven Guard, right? It's like the issues right now was the Raven Guard supplement and the Iron Hand supplement.
Yep.
Sense and Ultramarine, Assault Sense and Ultramarines, Imperial Fist, everything else isn't good. I mean, they're okay, but everything just dies so fast in this game. But yeah, it's a different conversation.
Yep. Well, apparently not Centurions when they're transhuman, as we've seen today. They die very slowly.
Well, yeah, or self-sacrifice, right? That's the only thing that helps with Salamanders.
Right.
But I only can keep one unit alive.
Yep. All right, guys. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to call it there.
All right. Well, thanks for
Thank
the
you.
game.
Yeah, thanks you guys for playing. Nick, congratulations on the pod win, and I hope to see you guys in future games in the not too distant future.
Yeah,
for
Trevor. I
sure.
think I'm playing Colin again, maybe around 2 or 3. So
Oh,
I
snap!
think
That's
that's
in
stream
which pod is that?
pod
That's
6 or no, this
6.
is
Okay,
pod 4, I think, right?
no, this is pod 4.
Yeah, so pod 6.
Okay.
Whatever the
Yeah, just shoot me a PM with the time, and I'll get you guys set up.
All right, cool. All right,
Sick,
take care,
dude.
bud.
Have
All
a good one.
See you.
Okay, everybody. Thresher 2005, leave my army alone. No, never. Chat was in a frenzy after your last game with Jeff Poole. Like, Raven Guard Centurions are so broken. I also think that he, as we talked about in that game, he deployed very aggressively, and it was he paid for it for sure. But this was an interesting game. Definitely, I think some more efficiencies that Fenomeno could have pulled out a little bit there. But for your first tournament, getting to the final round and getting and making, Nick Rose is a top 10 ITC player. Who just kills it, in competitive 40K. He just plays so great all the time with these like very hyper optimized, very interesting lists. This isn't a boring list. It's a very combo centric, finessey army, and he just plays it so well. And making him work for that game for your first time out in a tournament, I think means that I think we're probably going to see Fenomeno in some future finals matches, I imagine. I hope everybody enjoyed this game. Thanks you so much for tuning in today for some Saturday morning 40K. And we will be back, it sounds like, with another finals game in just a couple of hours. It sounds like Nick has his next one set up for later today. And so we'll be back online with that. Stay tuned on the channel and on the stream schedule post for the timing of that. And we'll be back live. Have a good one, everybody, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you.